in the instance where there is an emergency for a family member or for an associate, something, things will be taken care of.
Okay, so I'm going to approach this from just trying to create a picture of what an efficient system should look like.
Sure.
You should have infrastructure. Look at your population size. We're almost 32 million people in Ghana. Do we have the capacity to meet this demand? Now we're talking about processes. What's the referral system like? Do we have systems in place where if somebody somewhere in the north needs to refer a case to Accra, you can go online or make a few phone calls. The reception that's receiving that call, you have people who actually pick up the phone and listen to what you have to say or read text messages. So processes like that. Then we're talking about skilled staff. Do we have the staff? Yes, we do. But I'll say that it's a bit limited because most of us are in the capital cities, are in the south for various reasons. Reason being one, with more practice, you become better at your skill. With more access to latest advanced technology, get better. In the hinterlands, it's always the simple things that we treat, malaria, diarrhea. It can get boring. As a scientist, you want to learn new things. And also, in terms of accommodation for staff, people prefer to be in the south and the north. So, skilled staff. AMS needs different type of training. It's kind of like internal medicine, but you do ER training, you do ICU training, so ER emergency room training, where you can handle both acute illnesses and trauma. You do ICU training, where you can handle anybody who's on a ventilator or a cardiac monitor. You do kind of like military kind of training, where you go in areas where they don't have the resources that you have in a tertiary facility like Polibu. So whatever you have around there, how can you play around those consumables to make your patient get better? Then we're talking about access. Our transport system is still, I don't know how to say it. We're trying to get there, but it's a lot to do in the sense that they do the roads, they fix the roads. However, the quality of what they're using on our roads is poor. We live in the tropics with erosion, the weather changes everything. So our roads don't last that long. Ambulance drivers cannot access certain parts of Ghana either because they are not on the digital network or they live in slums where to get to somebody's house you need to go through two houses. An ambulance vehicle cannot get there. Then we're talking about capital. So capital in the sense that the hospital, the organization or management, how much have they invested in making sure the essential medications are available? The NHIS concept is a very good one. Has a lot to do, but there's a lot of work involved. If you look at their policies, it covers so much. We don't even have to use private health insurance. However, a lot of our hospitals do not still don't believe in NHIS and they feel anytime we offer that service, they don't pay us back, so they do cash and carry. So an efficient system needs to have all these things in place. What is the recovery for the patient after the person leaves the hospital? What are the structures in place in the community? The person lives in Tamale, came to Accra, had a stroke, was treated, maybe he has his right lower limb, some weakness, he needs to continue physiotherapy. He goes back to Tamale. He needs to have that network of doctors to help him gain some capacity or 98% function again, not coming all the way to Accra. That's how an efficient system should work and training. So in Ghana, starting from the top again, infrastructure, government has done very well, I would say. But it's like they don't get that kind of information that we want them to hear. So you think in parliament, everyone, I mean, representing a community, you should have an idea your population size, have an idea how many facilities do I have in my community? What can government do to help optimize existing, optimize skill sets? You don't bring junior doctors to, you need junior doctors need to go through training. You need to have different levels of seniority, including consultants and people who can train the juniors. In the rural areas, they put the junior doctors there. They don't put consultants who can train you to be better at your skill. So you go to parliament, you tell them, oh, I have a community of 1,000 people. I have two hospitals, there are only 100 beds. Please, we need to build more facilities, create more beds, also train our people, our indigenous people in that community, upskill them so they can look after our loved ones. So infrastructure, we are still not at 32 million. So already it's a struggle, but we are getting there. Now I'll talk about the referral system. Nothing to write home about. You have people calling you, or they say they know somebody who works in this hospital. They'll call you, so it guarantees them a bed. The no bed syndrome. The no bed syndrome is not that the beds don't exist. It's just when you come in, let's say it's a 10-bed ER, there are already people over there. You can see that that facility cannot cater for 32 million people. That is why we have the challenge. So policymakers need to make sure that based on their population number, so 32 million, when they're sitting in Parliament House, need to look at that figure and then put in place things to improve upon the number of beds you have in each community. I don't believe in traveling from Tamale all the way to Accra when you have skilled people in Tamale. All they need is more space, more equipment, more, I don't have to say, it, advanced ways of doing things. And you don't have to do the traveling. If you have to travel, what is our response system like? So we have ambulance service providers. So the number is 112. What's the emergency? Then, oh, I have a headache. I fell. Now I think the front part of my head is hurting me. What do I do? They say, okay, take paracetamol. Oh, I need to go to the hospital. My auntie said if I go to the hospital, I'll feel better. And somebody fell in my house, had a headache, and died. So, this is telling you maybe that person had a massive bleed in the head. So maybe he's also hit his head, probably has a massive bleed. What is your response time? Our networks always get crumbled when you are in certain parts of town. I notice some parts of town have better connectivity with MTN than others. So by the time they call you, time has elapsed, maybe 10 minutes. You spend 5 minutes talking a lot of unnecessary things. Straight to the point. I need to go to the hospital. What's the emergency? The recipient or whoever is receiving the call, you should have skilled people there to pick up the phone to give you first aid that you can do at home, or if indicated, quickly call an ambulance to get to your end. The ambulance people are all advanced cardiac life support personnel. So by the time they get to you, you should have done basic. That goes to another angle that I wanted to bring to talk about here just for a second or two. Most of us don't know first aid at home. We have the literature at home. We have the first aid kit sitting somewhere in our house, but we don't know what to do when we have certain emergency, a heart attack, chest pain, or or your face, typical of stroke features. We don't know. To expect the health facility to sort you out within seconds. In America and England, by the time the ambulance service gets to your end, you have saved yourself so much, your prognosis gets better. They'll come and do more advanced things, setting IV lines, giving you fluid, put you on a cardiac monitor. So at home, you can do certain things at home. So we need to learn how to do things at home. It's key. We are all tech savvy now, everything is online. So the ambulance gets to you, gets into the referral site. So you call from the house, a facility close to your house. You go there, no bed. The ambulance driver should have a way, or the National Ambulance Service should have a system where, so let's say in this constituency, these are the facilities here. We've got a call from Zone A. Zone A has this facility. We are bringing in the patient. Zone A facility should be ready to receive. They get there because they never picked up the phone call. They say, oh, we don't have any bed. Please go to the other, there's another
The
facility
other
around
zone.
the corner.
Yeah.
Government or the president has stated, was the Minister of Health,
Mm.
one of them stated everyone or all of us in the ER should provide some form of care before we say we're going to move them out. You don't, ambulance comes and you say, oh no, we don't have bed. Go. Just go
Yeah.
see who the patient is,
Mm.
assess, keep or not. If not, if you're not keeping, call the other center to tell them I am sending a patient to you. So already we have miscommunication amongst all the health facilities, even professionals. So you see friends calling friends. It shouldn't be. You don't need to have a doctor in the family to stand a chance of surviving in this country. But yet again, in the past it was like that. But now, I'll tell you, National Ambulance is up to scratch. They
Wow.
even do defibrillation in the ambulance.
Great. Great.
So
Mm.
the basic life support, 60% of them do advanced, majority do the, let's say 60 advanced, 40% will do basic, which all of us can do basic life support. Maybe next time when we organize migration to Ghana, we train people on how to do basic life support. So chest compression, breathing, all of that.
Wow.
It was You'll be surprised how it changes your prognosis in less than a minute.
Wow.
Just do it.
Wow.
Then you go to the facility. They say no bed. But you finally get a bed. Where are your relatives? Okay, doctor has written this is the prescription. The pharmacy hasn't got the medication. It's supposed to be a pharmacy for a tertiary facility. Then you'll be roaming around. It happens a lot with ops and gynae. Roaming around. Your relatives roaming around, spending money they don't have. NHIS that's supposed to work is not working. Only guarantees you a place to put your head. So there's a gap in, first of all, we are not building capacity to meet demand. There's a
Mm.
gap in referrals. We are not communicating
Mm.
efficiently in the facility, within the facility, we don't have the medications. So you can see that it's a lot that needs to be done at each level. So if you're moving to Ghana, I'll tell you something. We are much better than most of the West African countries. A lot of people come from Liberia, Sierra Leone, Burkina Faso just to seek care here. CT scan, MRI machines are available in Ghana. So they come here. So you can imagine someone having a stroke in Burkina Faso and he needs to fly here to get a CT scan done.
Wow.
Already the window is closed.
That
So we
is. Mm.
so Eurocare, obviously, advanced diagnostics. We do.
I knew you were going to bring that in.
So with
Sure.
interventional
Mm.
radiology, interventional cardiology procedures, we go in the cath lab for stroke and
Mm.
then MIs. But yet again, I would say I'm living here for so many reasons. But for me, what's important is being able to help those who didn't have what I'm exposed to, making healthcare so easily accessible in terms of education, and then also encouraging people that not do not lose hope coming to Africa. Africa is the world. The other parts they are stealing from us and they are taking over them. Ghana is home. A lot has been done. The health care system works. Um, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, one of the premier hospitals. There's so much in this country and has saved so many lives in addition to all the other health facilities in this country. So I'll say the system is working. You can call the ambulance and get the ambulance. Do your first aid at home. Get to the health facility. The NHIS works to some extent, but if you do have private insurance, it also works. And also trust that if you've done something at home to buy you time, you will go home and very healthy
Alive.
at the end of the
Alive.
day.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's appreciate Dr. Diana Brody-Metz. She makes mention of a lot of key principles and key elements that are needed in moving our development forward as a nation. And one of them is resource. And I'm glad to inform all of us that today our panel is a very rich one that has individuals of diverse endeavor. Now, one of them is somebody who specializes in human resource, an experienced and respected one at that, with massive experience which spans some 2 decades. Apologies for the feedback there. So our next panelist is joining us virtually and is a combined product of the University of Ghana and the Carlson Management University of Minnesota, as well as Université Catholique de Louvain in Belgium. So, ladies and gentlemen, she is a marketing professional as well who started her career with Multimedia Group, where I trace my roots. And she went as well ahead to Ernst& Young and worked in a consulting capacity. And since then has played various roles in other organizations as well. She is a highly respected human resource professional and is rated globally as well and has made massive impact on every organization that she has brought her professional expertise to bear on. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to introduce to all of us the Director of Human Resources at Vodafone Ghana, Ashilkai Akrong. Shall we put our hands together for her? Ashoka, it's great to see you, and I knew that your frames were going to be red from a marketing perspective.
Hi, I don't know if anyone can hear me, but
We can hear you loud and clear.
you're muted, so I can't hear you.
Okay, very well. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go. I can hear you.
Okay, great to have you. I was just giving you a nice compliment on your spectacle frames. It had to be color red because of Vodafone, right?
Of course, Team Red all day, every day.
Great, good to have you. Now we've been
Thank
going
you.
on about what's been happening in the health sector, and Dr.
All right,
Diana
you're back
Broadyments
on
has been
mute, so I
okay.
can't hear you.
Okay, you have to do what makes you hear me so that you can hear my
So that you can,
message.
so that you can.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes,
All right, very well. Let
I
me just
can.
shoot straight to my questions. Now, Ashoka, you have had to work with many persons who are moving back to Ghana, who are
So you can hear me, okay?
yes, I can. I can very well. Yeah. So I'm just asking. I mean, you have worked with loads of professionals who have, taken a decision to relocate to Ghana and, practice their respective professions here. Now, what are the kinds of, similar themes that run along these personalities and their
Can you hear me?
mindsets and their respective attitudes as well?
Somebody's on mute. It says Tech Guinness. That person.
Okay, we'll try our best to try to re-establish contact. And okay, we're okay. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, very well. So I was just asking a quick one about the kinds of professionals that you employ, especially those who are, making that move or, moving into Ghana to relocate and practice their respective professions here. What are the similar things that you see running along their expertise, their mindsets, and their general attitudes to work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So hopefully you can hear me okay. So we look at the broad spectrum as employees. I have recruited from my Discover Grads, which is our entry level graduate program, right? We train employees to come in right after college, um, and then a much more fast track process into management. So we've done that all the way through to director level roles. As well. Basically, you are the kind of, well, looking at the background that Jackie and the rest of the team shared with me, I mean, you have the kind of background that most employers in Ghana are looking for, because you have the experience from other countries, not just from Ghana. Some of you do have the experience from Ghana, which always helps, because then you know the culture. You've been working in the system before and have traveled outside and gotten all this other experience. Now, we are, for all the roles that we have, what what you bring to the table is the fact that you have that added expertise of having worked in another culture with different people. Teamwork is very important. The perspective that you bring is very important as well. Now, having said that, we're also looking for, and I always say this when I speak to people who apply for roles that I have and speak to them who are outside of the country. You have to be ready.
All right, we lost the audio there. We still do have visuals. We'll try our best to re-establish the contact. Yeah, sure. Can you carry on? Please go ahead. Well,
us is you have been exposed to different cultures, you've been exposed to working from a different perspective, um, dealing with people from all aspects of the spectrum. So that's how I'd answer the question. And I mean, the only thing I'll say, be ready, because I mean, people want to move very quickly. They want to fill roles very quickly. I can speak to the tech roles that I have at Vodafone, and so more and more we're looking more at we call them the 14 core skills of the future. Well, now in the future, we're looking at cybersecurity, software engineering. We're looking at media marketing. Um, let's see. So I mean, these tech roles are going to be very, very, coming at a high demand, and you can't even fill these roles quickly enough. The best way to assess these roles is for us is through our website, because we post every role that we have on our website, which is vodafone.com.gh slash careers. And of course, networking with our recruiters on LinkedIn and other social media platforms as well. So I hope you heard all that. I think we're having some tech.
Yes, Ashoka, yeah, you can go ahead. And I realized you were wrapping up, so please do go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying that no, I had wrapped up, so I was saying over to you if you have another question. But I hope you heard what I said.
Very well. We're very grateful for that as well. And that should go
Okay.
to tell all of us about the kinds of opportunities that lie here in corporate Ghana. And she was talking a lot about areas like like cybersecurity, media marketing, and all of that. And these are all existing and emerging areas within telecommunications, which is her area of specialty now, which are available for people who'd want to pursue respective careers, in that area. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're grateful to all of you for being here with us today to be a part of the 2021 Migration to Ghana, your passport home event. Um, Today we have quite a number of professionals and persons who are practicing in various areas of endeavor. We have people from human resources, from the medical field, also from law and food processing, from contemporary art, and also from the real estate, industry as well. And all of these will be sharing experiences with us regarding, how it has been so far and what the future is looking like here in Ghana. Already, Dr. Diana Brodimens has elaborated heavily on how Ghana is leading the way when it comes to the kind of setup that we have in the health sector. In as much as there may be some difficulties here and there, we still are leading the way when it comes to our positioning within the West African sub-region, which is something great to hear, especially for what we all are looking forward to doing. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to move the conversation forward. And I would like to begin here with Dr. Brodimens. Is Ashoka still with us? Ashoka, are you still with us? Okay, we'll get back to her. But Doc, in wrapping up your side of the conversation, I would like
I
all
am,
of us.
yes.
Okay, you are. Okay, so let's begin with you then. Ashoka, you have told us a lot about the expectations that you have, when you're looking out for the next set of professionals who are coming in to add to the moving train at a giant institution like yours. Now, what is it looking like for all of us, especially from your sector, in the next 5 to 6 years, by the year 2026, for instance? The scope of business, the growth rates that we're expecting, and all of that.
Okay. So we've been talking a lot about the future of work, basically from now until looking at the next couple of years, the next 5 years, etc. And what is the factors that are impacting this is, the fourth industrial automation, workplace 4.0, and COVID as well definitely has made an impact on how work, where the work is going to be done, and also the kind of roles that we're going to have in the future as well. So more and more we see these tech roles, and also we see that a lot of the time people are moving more and more towards entrepreneurship. And so, I mean, the future of work really is entrepreneurship. And that is not to say that these roles.
Well, a bit of buffering there, but I believe that Ashoka Krong made her point, and we do realize that because of COVID-19 and that big realization and awakening that it gave the whole world generally.
And we have crowdsourcing through platforms like GitHub, like Amazon AWS, etc. So they're outsourcing their time to different organizations, different roles, and also taking on various entrepreneurial roles themselves. Well, the future of work is pretty much that's what we're looking at. And so for us as employers, we have to look at who are the kind of employees that we are having. It's not everybody has to be, a full-time employee, 40 a week, kind of employee, but a whole spectrum of that. And then for those who are currently in school, I just had a session last week. For those who are currently graduating, look at for the industry that you want to go in, read more about what does that mean. Can you do some of these nano degrees in addition to your degree that prepares you for immediately for the job want now? So, the future of work really is about control or of your career, what you're doing now, and what as well you can add, right, in regards to what opportunities are there. Even if I saw opportunities for proof writing, people who literally proof writing for design work, for etc. So it's looking very entrepreneurial. People dedicating their whole best where would be the only job role that we had, but it's going to be more people doing different things and bringing their skills and resources to the table.
Well, lovely stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, can we appreciate Ashoka Krong some more with applause? Thank you. Thank you.
Nathaniel,
Ashoka,
again.
thank you. Thank you so much. We're very grateful for your time this late afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from Ashoka Krong, and she is the marketing director of Vodafone Ghana. From what she tells us, it is very clear that as the world moves towards a certain direction, Ghana is not left out. And there's a lot of innovation when it comes to the kinds of jobs that are available and the kinds of jobs that can be created as well, and the kinds of jobs that are also going to be emerging out of the kinds of emergency situations that the world will be confronted with, thanks to what COVID taught us in the last 2 years. So, exciting times ahead, like she said. And while all of these exciting times are moving ahead, we also want to concentrate very much on our well being and our health. The reason why the likes of Dr. Diana Broadyments are very key and crucial to this conversation. So, Diana, with all these that you've given us, the background, the foundation, and the reality on the ground, how is it looking like in the next 5 years? By 2026, what kind of system are we expecting to see, and how secure is an individual going to be if they decide on that decision to migrate here to Ghana, West Africa?
Okay, so in the next 5 years, what I see really going to happen is a more robust referral system where we can do our referrals across the country. A system where you have all corporate bodies and everyone has their health in their hands. We do your labs, you do your clinicals or your medicals once every year. From that, you can pick up diseases early and go to the hospital in time. A system where we actually have more beds than before, and people get to go home, sooner than being there for more than a week. A system where we have, for example, there's some pharmaceutical companies that have dispatch We also have the drone service, so you can actually get medications to people in the rural areas, which is already ongoing. So in 5 years, we can see that going to all the little corners in the country. And also a country where most of us are educated, know what the basic things are, know our first age, know what to do, aware of the numbers to call, which facilities are in our constituencies, and know how to manage your disease well. In the past, we gave everything to the doctor. Now, health is in every Ghanaian man and woman's hand. So migrating to Ghana, I assure you that chance of survival is high. Your chance of even taking your own illness and what you have to do to prolong the um, the different stages of the disease, everything's going to be in your hands. So it's, I think, we'll be more well educated and will live longer in the country. Yes. Mm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we appreciate her with big applause? Big applause. So this is the 2021 edition of Migration to Ghana, and the team has put this together in collaboration with many supporters whom I'll be acknowledging as we go along. But ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to remind all of us that our panel is a very rich one that is made of individuals who are of diverse backgrounds and endeavor. We've heard from the human resource side of things. We've also heard from the health sector side of things. As we go along, we're going to be going into food entrepreneurship and food processing. We're going to go into the real estate environment as well, and we'll be going into fine art, contemporary art. And the question you need to ask yourself is, look at all of the wonderful paintings around here. Is this an area that thrives in this side of the world? Revelations will be made that will be very, very interesting to all of us. And that's the reason why we'll all have to stay along. Would like to say a very big thank you to all of our friends who are joining us on our stream on YouTube and Facebook on the Migration to Ghana pages. And so thank you all so much. Very shortly, we'll be getting into an interactive session where we can also add our voices and add, our thoughts to what has been said so far from the specialist point of view. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I trust that you're enjoying my company so far. There is a fine mixture of everything. There's good food here, provided by Periase Valley Resort. Good ambiance, wonderful people around us. What I'd like us to do for the next few minutes is to hand over to the one of the finest bands you can find in this side of town, and that is the Jazz Kings Band. They'll be serenading us with some very good music, and immediately after that, we'll get to our next two resource persons who will give us an even better conviction of making that great decision to be here, and of course, making an informed one at that. Most important of that. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I hand you over to the Jazz Kings Band. Enjoy.
All right, thank you. Turn your lights down low and pull your window curtains. Don't let your moon come shining into our lives again. Saying, ooh, it's been a long, long time. Got this message for you, girl. But it seems I was never on time. Still, I wanna get through to you, girl. On time, on time. I wanna give you some love, good, good loving. I wanna give you some good, good loving. Oh, 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 I wanna give you some good, good loving. Turn your lights down low Never try to resist. Oh no. Oh, let your love come tumbling into our lives again. Say, ooh, it's been a long, long time. Got this message for you, girl. But it seems I was never on time. Still, I wanna get through to you, girl. On time, on time. I wanna give you some love. I wanna give you some good, good loving. Oh, 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 I wanna give you some good, good loving. Turn your lights down low and pull your window curtains. Oh, let your moon come shining into our lives again. Say, ooh, it's been a long, long time. Got this message for you, girl. But it seems I was never on time. Still, I wanna get through to you, girl. On time, on time. I wanna give you some love, good, good loving. I wanna give you some good, good loving. Oh, 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 I wanna give you some good, good loving. I wanna give you some love, good, good loving. I wanna give you some good, good loving. Oh, oh, I wanna give you some good, good loving. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. It's amazing how you knock me off my feet now. Every time you come around me, I get weak. Nobody ever made me feel this way. Yes. You kiss my lips and you take my breath away. So I wanna know what turns you on. I like to know so I can be your one more. I like to know what makes you cry. So I can be the one to always make you smile. Girl, you never understood what you are worth. I, and you never took the time to make it deserve more love and baby. Baby, I'm making up kind of shows concern. Yes, I do. Any way that can please you, have no fear. So I wanna know what makes you cry. I like to know so I can be your one and more. I like to know what turns you on. So I can be the one to always make you smile. Tell me what I gotta do to please you. Baby, anything you say I'll do. Cause I only wanna make you happy. From the bottom of my heart is true. Tell me what I gotta do to please you. Baby, anything you say, I'll do. Cause I only wanna make you happy. From the bottom of my heart, it's true. I wish I could continue to your mind. Alright. And try to emotionally always try to hide, baby. Oh, oh. I don't believe it, that is love you wanna share. Yeah, oh. I take good care of you, baby, have no fear. So, I like to know what you do. I wanna know, I like to know, I like to know what makes you cry. So I can be the one to always. Please tell me what I gotta do to please you. Baby, anything you say, I'll do. Cause I only wanna make you happy. From the bottom of my heart is true. Tell me what I gotta do to please you. Baby, anything you say, I'll do. Cause I only wanna make you happy. From the bottom of my heart is true, yeah. Thank you.
A fine rendition, yeah, a fine rendition of the that award-winning track by Joe Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do it for the Jazz Kings Band. Well, we will be getting into some more in terms of the thought leadership side, but I know that most of you also have thoughts and you have concerns as well as questions to ask based on what we've heard so far. So at this time, we'll dedicate the next 5 minutes to do that based on what we've heard from the health sector and from a resource, the human resource angle of this conversation of migration to Ghana. So, ladies and gentlemen, just indicate by hand. I'll bring you a microphone so that we can take it from there. So, just indicate by hand. I'll come over to your table, and you can go ahead with your comments, suggestions, and also contributions to this subject, specifically on what we've heard so far from the presentations from the health sector and from human resource as well. Kindly begin with your name and then your question or suggestion. Yeah, please.
Sorry, my name is Alex. Pharmacist from the US. One question goes to the doctor. Uh, okay, so I did a little bit of research in terms of how the Ghana like hospitals work and everything. Do you guys have like a centralized system where like hospitals can go into the database to find out like how to treat certain conditions and like protocols to follow? Is there anything like that here in the country where things are followed protocol wise so that nobody just because for example I went to the pharmacy to get a prescription like antibiotics. I know here you can just walk in there and just get anything you want. um, I told her what my problem was and what she was giving me wasn't what was going to treat my condition. So is there like a system here that you guys follow to treat like diseases and all that?
So currently, we have the standard treatment guidelines that are available in most of the health facilities, and most of us doctors have the guidelines. It's available at the Ministry of Health and also at the Ministry of Health in Northridge. So there is a guideline. In terms of a digital version of it, it's something that the government is still working on. But now I'm sure within a year, everyone should have access to what the guidelines are in this country to include even hypertension and other chronic diseases. So currently, there is literature which is available at the ministry. Digital platforms are still being worked on. So yes.
Then one last question. Is the Ministry of Health doing enough to educate the public on what you talked about in terms of not to call the ambulance for a headache? Are they like doing enough on the TV station? Because when you turn on the TV, all you see is just Marlon and preaching and all that. Is there any other education going on, like to help the public to you know?
I'll
Because
tell you something. There's a lot that the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service have been doing for years. I didn't even know until I went there one day and I was discussing something about a project. And apparently, there's a lot they do the grassroots level in the villages, even in communities within Accra that live in the slums. But they don't do more advertising or they don't market it so much, so you never hear of it. So good thing is they are educating people and they actually print out um, health talks and everything in local languages. Unfortunately, they are not marketing it as such, or you don't hear so much about it. So that's their shortfalling. Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is King. I'm from Texas in the United States. Being a person that's in the medical field, do you often look at what people in the past have done for their communities, such as Gaddafi with free medical health care and North, I don't call it the Middle East, I call it Northeast Africa because they are attached to us. Places like Dubai and Saudi Arabia that give their people free health care. And when you compare them to places like in West Africa, and you see, my friend, she's a god. She told me the saying that y'all have in Ghana is called monkey they play, bamboo they chop. The money, where they basically don't invest the money back into the people. And Ghana has the resources, we all know that. But do you agree that it's because it lacks vision that the people don't have proper health care? Because I agree with what you said about for efficiency, you have communication. Um, whereas, like for instance, in the States, you may have one place in Kumasi that specializes in brain surgery, but a place that specializes in limb surgery in Accra or the Central Region. They don't have the adequate transportation to get them there in a timely manner. Whereas we had helicopters, they can be there within 45 minutes. Whereas to go from Accra to Kumasi would take you 6 hours. And that's critical when it comes to a person's life. So, do you agree that the government could do better compared to other countries that have done better?
Thank you. I would say something. Free health screening, for example, already exists. We do that a lot. Example, the National Cardiothoracic Center, every year, the 29th of September is known as the World Heart Day. I've been part of the team before. We go to every, I would say, every region in this country to organize walks, to check people's blood pressures, to even direct them where they can go next. So if you're in Tamale General, Tamale Teaching Hospital, who you should see at the cardiology department. So free health screening, making me nervous. Free health screening already exists. You know, now we have like World Cancer Day, World Cervical Cancer Day, Breast Cancer. As of October, every year is breast cancer. Ghana has taken it like a different ball game altogether. It already exists. I would say one thing. So much is going on that a lot of us don't know, those of us who live outside. Because you can only have information based on what you see online or what your friends are telling you. A lot is going on, and I would say we are not saying so much to the outside world, which is our drawback. We should tell people what we are doing. The Ghana Health Service, what are they doing? What is MOH doing? What are the different constituencies doing? Talk about it. It already exists. Every day there's something going on somewhere in this country. You have people coming from the US or from UAE or England coming to offer free surgical procedures. People with cleft palates, with eye diseases. And you have private entities who also offer free services. So it exists. It's just that it's not marketed well enough, so you don't know about them. So yeah. Did that answer your question? General public. Well, most of the things we do often, first of all, to find out if you do have a high blood pressure. Mm. And after that, there are medications that you should take. And you have to look at the person's insurance. Has the person got insurance or not? Because some of these drugs are not on NHIS. But that's another different discussion on its own. Pharmaceutical companies and governments still try to give subsidies or subsidize their drugs as much as possible. 100% healthcare is an expensive industry. Medications, sorry, quick, I definitely have oil. They got money. Yeah, but they have more than us. They have more than us. 100%, I get you. But most of what we do is what we require. We've done enough market research to know what each community requires. There's some people may have thyroid diseases as compared to another community. Some people may have more skin diseases. So we are targeted to be so more dermatological services in that community. So 100%, let's say we're doing 99.1 for now. Yes. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is PK Ofoyasenso, and first of all, if I may go ahead and applaud you guys for such a great impact. This is my first time, and I'm very um, enthused by what is going on. I was expecting to see a lot of people because there's a lot of, you know, us from the diaspora in the country, and I think this must be well marketed for people to know what's going on because you have a lot of artists and technocrats that can really make good use of this. Now, let me go into my complex question as usual. Um, I am retiring from the U.S. Air Force pretty soon, okay, and I was doing my research about medical insurance, just like my brothers were just talking about, and I was looking to the fact of TRICARE. And one of the questions that I was asking myself is, am I always going to be going to the U.S. Embassy just to get some medical attention, or there should be a proper way for me to just walk in those hospitals that have the opportunity for me to use TRICARE? Because when you look up hospitals that have TRICARE in Ghana, right, or accept TRICARE in Ghana, you're going to see a number of of them. But the question is it just there for formality, or is it actually a reality? And that is the status quo that I think is frustrating most of us from the diaspora coming back home to start up something or maybe continue with what we already doing. So how do we break that status quo, and how do we also make sure that those hospitals with the TRICARE insurance are facilitated and feasible? And also, how do we make this much more user friendly for some of us? Because I'll tell you, man, I mean, my brothers just said from Texas and also from the States. So we kind of lazy, okay? We want things already laid out for us so that we can walk in and make the best out of it. Okay, so with that being said, how can this be user friendly for us? Thank you.
Okay, so for now in Ghana, most of our private health facilities, including tertiary or government facilities, have contracts with private health insurance companies. So, there's a hierarchy of okay, not seniority, but there's Cigna, there's Bupa. They're huge, huge industries where they have most of the employees across West Africa. So for private health insurance packages that come from the US or England, a few health facilities in Accra actually have contracts with them. You don't see too many of their members coming. So TRICARE, I've come across just two patients before using that package. So not too many of them come through Accra. So I'll say one thing. Usually, when say one person comes from a private health insurance organization that they don't usually use the services in this subregion, what happens is from that set go, they start calling TRICARE, and then how would I say it? So we have our first member and the TRICARE visiting our facility. This is what we did. This is what they require. How do we fine tune the contracts to fit your members? So it always happens when one member comes and then we optimize to fit the next member that comes. So existing ones like Cigna, as mentioned, were across Africa. A lot of companies know them. A lot of hospitals know them, but TRICARE and some other ones from Canada or Denmark, they're not so popular in this part of Africa. So when one member comes, they optimize to meet the next member. So it all depends on traffic that comes in. Yes, and most of them have their categories. You don't do surgery here. This person only allowed this. We send a GOP kind of thing. Yeah. So all based on first when you come, we look at what the contract is about or what you're entitled to, and then we optimize for the next one. Yeah. It also depends on industry where you're coming from. There's some people from the mining industry, some we said military, so we optimize all the time. Even with the US embassy, we optimize based on the insurance they're using. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any more questions for this session? Any more questions? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be doing over the next 3 to 4 minutes is to have the conversations around our tables. Because once we're getting towards the end of all of this, I would come over to each table to pick up the major, takeouts from all of this. Remember that at the end of the day, the conversations that we have here are things that are going to be carried forward as we go along. And there are industry professionals here as well who have organized bodies that they belong to. And these kinds of conversations are key to decision making and policy formulation when it comes to the various organized bodies within, us, development here in Ghana. So, ladies and gentlemen, over the next 4 to 5 minutes, we'll just have all of you have the conversations amongst yourselves on your tables regarding what we've listened to in the offering or what is there on the ground in the health sector here in Ghana, as well as the kinds of opportunities that are available here, especially from the tech entrepreneurship side of things and telecommunications sector as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I come back to you in the next 5 minutes, and then we go to our next set of panelists who have an interesting set of skills that they are all going to combine to tell us about. So we'll be hearing from food processing, from contemporary art, and also real estate. All these are very, very crucial to the forward conversation about Ghana and coming to be a part of the Ghana story. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust all conversations have gone well, and actually, from what I noticed, it's even gone beyond the areas that we've tackled so far. But once again, we're grateful to have your company today as we go through Migration to Ghana 2021 here at the Peduase Valley Resort. Now, remember that the buffet table is still open, has still a lot to eat. So just in case you want to do a second or a third, hey, go ahead, free to do that. And also, the bar is still open. Please feel free to call any of our waiters to serve you your beverage of choice. Just before we get into our next session with our specialists, it's my pleasure to welcome up here our main collaborators and sponsors for this event. The first of them is in the tech industry and has something wonderful to share with us. Please help me with a big round of applause to welcome up here the coordinator for Tap Tap Send, PK for Yasenso. Welcome him with a big round of applause. Thank you, PK. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Premise Advisory have placed themselves in the position to help you with all legal matters once you take that decision to be here or you've already settled here and you have certain things to do from business registration through to all other things legal. Please help me with a big round of applause to welcome here the managing partner of Firmus Advisory, Alex Chumisi. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And I'd like to begin with you, PK. PK, you're in the tech industry and you have something interesting with Tap Tap Send, and we're actually going to go through it right here and right now. Tell us about it.
All right, so it's all about Tap Tap Send, and it's a mobile sending app that actually allows people to send money to wherever they are concerning the fact of the perimeters in terms of our territories. And we all over Africa right now, and Europe, Canada, and United States. Currently, we're over like 39 states right now in the state, and we're almost about to take over. Before I actually go deep into it, if you don't mind, please grab your phones and download the app, Tap Tap Send, and we're gonna have you guys make a transaction. It doesn't matter how much transaction that you want to make, and we're gonna select some winners. And before we leave today, there's gonna be some surprise gift for the winners as well. The promo code, please write the promo code down. Is gonna be M2G 2021. M2G. Just so you know, once you apply the promo code, it's gonna come with a bonus. So M2G 2021. And before we leave today, we're gonna announce the names of the couple winners. So if you have any issues or any questions or concerns whilst we go through this, please let me know. I'll stick around a little bit and answer any question that I have. Yes, ma'am. I'll try. Okay, take it off. No, no, let me take it. Is it New York? So, um, so I'm originally from the Bronx, right? I got kicked out of Bronx because of I was young and stupid back then. But the same thing that I said. Why is New York now in the bill? But you have to understand, New York is a state of many laws, and we have to make sure that we take our time to make all those things first. It is still in the process. Matter of fact, our office is in New York, so it's getting worked out. And sooner but later, it's going to happen. It was the same thing with Jersey, and Jersey right now is on the map. Yes. Thank you. Please, have you downloaded the app? Any questions or concerns, try to do it. One thing you have to understand that tap tap send is one of the question is why tap tap send? Because I'm used to using other operating systems to send money to Ghana or wherever I am. But why go for the less if you can have more? The rate is the best. Okay? And people always try to compete with it. And once they compete, we always try to leave them behind, like the Usain Bolt. Okay, so the rate is always the best one. It's very secured. You can always rest assured that because it's one of the rate that it does not want to promote fraud, especially when people try to slide into your um, credentials just to use it for stuff like that. So it is. And I heard my gentleman over here saying that he's from Texas, and I know Texas is not on the map with it as well. But with time, Texas is going to be on the map as well. But that is it when it comes to tap to send. Very, very easy, convenient to send money to wherever that you want to send the money to. Ghana, Europe, Canada as well. Any question? I like it when there's no question because it makes my work easier.
All right, thank you very much, PK Oforia Senso, who's the coordinator for Tap Tap Send. And like he's mentioned to us, we will be having a massive surprise once we get in and do a transaction. Just any, any amount as well. Just make sure that you send it and follow the prompts and follow all of the instructions and send. And we may just end up getting pleasantly surprised by Tap Tap Send. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would hand over to Firmers Advisory, who have a brief message for us. Remember that Firmers Advisory are also one of our collaborating sponsors for this year's Migration to Ghana event. Alex, thank you.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you, Migration Ghana, for the opportunity. So the name is Alex. The name of the company is Famous Advisory Limited. Basically, we set out to be your eyes on the ground to handhold you as you navigate the Ghanaian space, especially as you seek to start your business in Ghana. A little bit of background about why we started the firm. We started the firm in 2011, coming from a background of working with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, for well over a decade. We saw a number of companies come in because the GIPC is the first port of call for people who are trying to invest in Ghana. We saw a lot of people come through. We saw a lot of people come through trying to start their businesses. And at the time they get to the GIPC, they may have made a lot of mistakes, right from forming the company, right from meeting middlemen who promised them lots of things, trying to get their paperwork and their licensing done. We had that group of people. Then we also had another group of people who had started their businesses with so much expectation and so much hope. Started 1, 2 years, and then things went all over the place, and then they had to fold up and things like that. We went through all that journey, and at the point we realized that we really had a way that we could really help people who were navigating the space. So when we started Fairmos in 2011, it was to create a home where not only would you have professional legal services or advisory, but also to be able to provide services in terms of helping people to understand the Ghanaian market. We don't just provide services in the area of law because lawyers just speak law, but we've been able to bring together a team of professionals where we're able to provide a team of services that sort of helps you to navigate and start your business in Ghana. So we have three core services. One is market research, where again, as I said, we help you to understand the Ghanaian market. Two is regulatory compliance, everything from licensing and permit. So unlike going to one agency to deal with your company formation, moving on to the next place to deal with your immigration matters, and moving to the third to deal with your tax advisory, at Firmos, we're able to speak to all these subject matters where we have in-house experts to speak to that. And the third is trade development. And indeed, our services are all linked up because sometimes people want to stay in their countries and just find people to trade and start doing business with. Because it's only when you find that there's market for your product that you want to actually move. So trade development actually helps you to find that kind of agent, that kind of distributor, that kind of person who will be your leg in that market to help you penetrate that market before you even make the final decision of setting up in country. So that's where our trade development comes in, where we help you identify partners and do all the due diligence that you need to do on the person or on the entity before you sign that deal with the person. Then sometimes you are very sure you want to come in with this kind of bottled water or this kind of beverage. So you need to go talk to some consumers to understand preferences and things like that. So our market research department or team comes in very quickly. And indeed, let me just mention, Nathaniel, that we launched a report at the Ghana beverage sector. You can find it on our website. We did a press launch of it about 2 weeks ago. We spoke with over 2,500 consumers in Ghana. We spoke with also the manufacturers from the Casaprecon to the Coca-Cola and all of that in Ghana. where we spoke with people to understand preferences, pricing, your budgets, and things like that. So we do that kind of study as well to help companies and investors and people to understand what exactly Ghanaians are looking for. Because again, it comes up very, very often when people are thinking of investing or starting a business in Ghana. The biggest question is, what should I do? What are the opportunities here? What can I do? And so when we set out to do research, it is to unearth some of these things for people to guide them and to help them. We did a study also early this year where we looked at the spending and consumption patterns of Ghanaians, and we identified about 35 top products that our Ghanaians are spending on. Why? Because what Ghanaians are spending on, it's an opportunity for you, it's an opportunity for me to go into that space. So these are the kind of things we do. And then finally, after researching, you are very sure that I want to do this kind of thing, then compliance comes in because now you know what you want to do, the paperwork, the licensing, the permits to get you off the ground. So, in summary, I hope it was brief. That's what we do as a company.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alex Chumesi. He's the managing partner of Famous Advisory, and they will be here to answer any of your questions, especially, as he said, if you want to set up here and put up a business unit or a business entity in this side of town so that you are compliant in every aspect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we put our hands together for them? Please do a big round of applause for them. We're grateful. We're grateful. Thank you. Well, this brings us to the next segment of our conversations here at Migration to Ghana 2021. Our next set of guests, I'll begin, and I'm going to comply very, very heavily with courtesy for boys and girls. So, ladies first. Well, this wonderful lady completed St. Mary's School in Vantage in Oxfordshire and attended the Kingston University where she studied an LLB. Now, she's currently working towards a second degree at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration to add to what she already has regarding capacity building. Now, she is the CEO of Food Pharmacy, and the vision is to empower the community with wealth and health. And the mission is to develop entrepreneurs and create health awareness through healthy cooking. Mm. So her move to Ghana has allowed her to develop further skill sets, and this has also resulted in the ability to adapt to any environment at all. Ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause, please help me welcome Judith Boate, who's known in other circles as Epia Boahema Boate. Judith, good to see you. Do take a seat. Thank you so much. We realized that the traffic was being well, at this time of the year, can you kindly pick the microphone? At this time of the year, you should expect that. So,
Yes, yes. And so my apologies, everyone. It really was a nightmare. But I'm happy to be here and to see all these wonderful faces. Yeah, it's good to be here.
thank you very much. Now, joining us next is a gentleman who is part of a paradigm shift in terms of what we consume in this side of the world. I say this because only 2 weeks ago, I was the MC for an event that sought to recognize symbolically contemporary artists. And this is a scheme that has been running for the last 5 years. Interestingly, the winner of that award took away $5,000. The runner up took $3,000. And the person who finished third took 2,000 US dollars. And the realization is that gradually, and even at a faster pace, the appreciation for contemporary art in this side of the world is growing. So I'm glad to introduce to you a fine gentleman who hails from this side of town, the Akuapem area in the eastern region of Ghana. Now, he is an amazing person when it comes to the stroke of the brush. And when you do a little 360 turn around here, you'd have a full appreciation of that. Now, he is the CEO and president of Safari, which is an internationally acclaimed gallery in the US. And imagine becoming one of the biggest rising, American, entrepreneurs. Now, Interestingly, he arrived in the US back in 1990 to study architecture at the Howard University in Washington, D.C., and he later moved to San Francisco, where he took up painting as a hobby. Now, what began as a hobby has now become a mainstay, and he's moving so fast into places and into spaces which we cannot imagine. We'll be listening to him very, very shortly. And he decides to put different elements of art together, from jazz to family life to modern sculptures and African themes, which go to illuminate that dark side of our lives as African people. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me with warm applause and much love to welcome up here Safori. And one of the things he should also take up is modeling. You look good, my brother. How are you doing? Good to see you. Do take a seat. Yeah, and isn't it interesting that your microphone matches some of your colors as well? Yeah, yeah, you always get this with artists, don't you? Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to also bring up here the CEO of Uyarifimo and Flamingo Realty Limited. Now, he's a young Ghanaian entrepreneur with a minimum of a decade of experience in the real estate industry. Now, he successfully executed many residential apartments and commercial retail projects. And of course, the flagship of all of these is the Uyarifimo, which I'm sure all of you drove past, on your way here. Now, he also, just like many others, decided after his education outside of Ghana to make a return home and come and invest here. He has an interesting story, just like my two other panelists who've just joined me here. And I'm sure that we would all want to listen to him and pick something in terms of inspiration from him as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me with a big round of applause to welcome Mr. Peter Osei, the CEO of Uyare Famo. Please put your hands together. Very well. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to also add this. I mentioned to you that Dr. Diana is my mate from Richard School. So the first 9 years. And then when I entered St. Augustine's College, I met this wonderful gentleman who was our highest rated basketball player at the time. He decided to put basketball aside. I disagree with it because I'm very sure that Steph Curry and LeBron James will probably have had some level of competition. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But it's still not too late. We can still get autographs and photographs from him, right? Put your hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much, lady and gentlemen, for joining me. It's a long running conversation, and I want to begin from you. Okay, tell me about the processes you go through in starting off an entity like you have started. Um, Bottlenecks, smoothness, and all of it put together.
Wow. Okay. So where do I begin? It's when you start an organization in Ghana. Well, I haven't started any other organization anywhere else, but in Ghana. I think one of the most important things one needs to consider is, first of all, your mindset. I've lived pretty much most of my life in the UK, and um, the understanding and the psyche and our interactions is just different as compared to what is in Ghana. So I think for me, when I first came and started the business, I just made a decision that I was going to make this work. A lot of things I struggled with people and understanding how the environment was. So really, it's just making that decision and saying that this is what I'm going to do, and irrespective of what um, would come my way, this is what I'm focused on. I recruiting the right people. When we talk about the right people, my right people is different from the right people that I would see here. But I sort of had to conform to the environment so that we could work together in order to understand each other to make business work. So I don't know if that answers the question,
Definitely, definitely.
you know, but I think mainly most of it is just your mindset and how you proceed with dealing with people in Ghana.
Great. Peter, you started off, had your elementary education, did high school here, and then you left for tertiary education. After that, you pursued a bit of your professional career there, and then you decided to come here and venture into capital intensive industry. How was the start like, especially considering what Equia has told us concerning getting back into the system and wiring yourself such that you're on the same page with everybody, attitude wise?
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. When I came, I just didn't delve into real estate. I always knew I wanted to be in real estate. I didn't have the finance and I couldn't get the support from the bank. So I got a job at Antrak Air as a marketing executive. What that job did for me was it gave me the experience on how to work with our people. Because obviously, like she said, working overseas and working here is different. So I worked with Antrak Air for like 3 years before starting my own company, which I did. I started a DMC, a destination management company. I started that because I studied travel and tourism in England. Doing this, I did all of this to try and raise funds, but I could not, the bank could not give me the loan. So even though I had a DMT, people didn't understand where I was going. I knew real estate was my end goal. So I started a business that I was familiar with, tried to raise some capital and get some support from the bank to push me, into the real estate industry. So we've been doing it for 10 years. So Yari Famo is our 10th project. We've done several projects in East Legon Airport, not airport, sorry, Pesano. Even the Cropon, we've done projects over there. Yeah, so um, building finance here, I mean, it's not as easy as you would in the States or in England. So I had to start a company, raise some capital, and get some support from the bank to enter into real estate.
So this is more of strategizing, and so strategizing becomes very important. If anything, we're picking from the two panelists so far as anything to go by. Strategizing becomes very, very important in here. Now, Safori, you are dealing with an area that requires a lot of individual inspiration and thought processes based on the stimulus that you get. Now, tell me about the experiences, especially when you took the decision to return, and how they affected the images, some of which we see here, and some of the quality images that have the potential to compete in any big high-end art gallery in any part of the world.
Again, thank you so much for having me here. Just wanted the two of you to know this. I'm glad you said a whole lot about me. I didn't even know you knew. St. Augustine's guys, I went to a academy, and we always beat you in sports. And I'm talking about sports. I grew up here in Ekopong. That's where I was born.
Very well.
I did my primary school, and I did 2 years in boys boarding school. Then I did actually 3 years in Papimang, and then I left to go to Accra Academy from 4 to Upper 6. I did a year service in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then I got admission to Howard University to study architecture. Now, throughout my whole years in high school, from 1 to Upper 6, I was the national pole vault champion for Ghana. So, um, and then I got to the States and I studied architecture and I dropped out of college for some reason. And then I I left Washington, D.C. to New York to San Francisco. I was still with Nordstrom, the departmental store, as a salesperson. And I learned how to sell lady shoes. So these are some of the things that I didn't know about myself until I started painting. And I started painting because some friends of mine decided that we should go out there and hang out and, whilst we were in one of the guys' home. The place was Gatos Hills, very affluent area. I saw all these paintings in the house. It's like, wow, these are really beautiful. I asked the guy the price that the parent for the pieces, and he started mentioning $40,000, $50,000, and
Yeah.
so from there I was like, oh wow, I can do this. And about six guys, they all started mocking, like, oh, what do you mean? We know you as a sportsman. What are you talking about painting this? And it was a matter of me proving myself to them that I could do it. I went home to a drugstore, and got some kids' paints and brushes and started painting. And at a point in time, I put some of the work that I was working on in my car trunk and went to work. And during my lunch break, I pulled it out whilst I was working. My buyer saw the work and told the store manager about it. The store manager called me, asked me to bring some pieces for her to see. And then I showed four pieces to her, and she said, "No way, I gotta let you showcase your work in the store." So she gave me the date and everything, set the whole place out for me in the collector's department, and 15 pieces were sold within 2 weeks.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that was when I realized that whatever it is that I came to the United States for, which is the land of opportunity, I had found mine. So I'm going to run with it. I put in my resignation and left, and it's been 24 years now.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. And as you went through that story, first thing is okay. So why is this movie not on Netflix yet? Now, Safari mentioned something very critical here, which is getting people to get used to a certain taste or a certain craving for something. Now, I mentioned that in this side of the world, we're still growing it, and it's a latent crowd who have massive appreciation for contemporary art and are able to break the bank to pick a piece of creative work from here. Now, you are in the industry of healthy eating, and I'm glad that Doc is here with us. Now, how easy has it been trying to sell the product to in a place where eating habits, as Doc has told us already, is not exactly something we can write home about. Okay, you are you're walking in a territory which is something everybody would want to stay away from, because if you get into that, because at the end of the day, you need to balance your sheets, you need to make some revenue. How's it been?
Okay, so before I answer this question, I'll just give you a little brief about exactly what it is the food pharmacy does. So we're a health and nutrition company, and we show people how to move away from lifestyle diseases. So talking about diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, stroke, and the likes. And the way that we do that is through a unique system of cooking, where we show people how to maximize on the nutritional element in their food by up to 93%, and also eliminating toxins and pollutions out of their diet with our specialist cooking system.
Very well.
Okay, now this system is called Salad Master. I don't know if any of you have heard of Salad Master,
I
but
do.
expensive. Right. So, so then you'd understand where I'm going with, to with this. So, the products we sell, it's a high end product, and um, getting people to buy into the product is it's not easy, first of all, because it's a new lifestyle, it's a new system of cooking. It's an acquired taste, it changes the taste of your food. It's all very different. And so for for us, we just build value, building value, getting our customers to understand, irrespective of the price or the cost or what the product is, our end goal really is to sell health. And today, if I was to present health to every single one of you, if I said to you, look, today, if you, I gave you this product, if you follow it through and through, you're going to live a much, much healthier life. I believe that most of you will jump on that. So for us, really, it's about building value. It's not, it's a very different product. And even the business structure as a whole is very different. But once again, it's I believe in the product, I believe in the system, I believe in business, and I believe that as a salesperson, sales is a transfer of feelings, okay? And you work with your belief system, so you got to become what you believe. So when you buy into that, when you're talking to people about it, even though it's a different uh, system, it's new to everybody, but for the fact that you believe in it, people embrace it. Not everyone, the majority of people, once they understand it, and health is the key thing. Yeah, they do. And mind you, my background is in law, not health or sales at all. But like I said, believing in the product and what it does, and people buy into it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Safari, I want you to tell me about the initial stages and when you settled here, um, getting set up and getting the idea of these pieces of art, these priceless pieces of art, into homes, into offices, into the spaces where they are required.
Yeah. Again, I'm glad you mentioned that and you said it all. If you believe in something, you can sell it to anybody. You know, I thought what I mentioned earlier with regards to discipline. Discipline, I got it from sports. I always wanted to win. Now, my sales experience with Nordstrom as a salesperson, I got to understand people skills, customer service, teamwork, and productivity. All right. So that is another thing that I got. Now, when I was about to start painting and I put out something that I thought it was just an ordinary work, and somebody came to me and said, "Whoa, this is good." That is when I felt like, okay, if I have this, then it's probably a gift or talent. So, what do I have to do to improve upon it? Is to practice and keep practicing. And I did that. All right. Now, so um, within a very short period of time, I happened to meet somebody who said to me, "Look, Safori, I love your work. All right. And you don't have a studio. My husband and I are going to give you a studio. This is in San Francisco." And they gave me their whole first floor, one bedroom upstairs, as well as a small office. Bought me all the materials I needed. All right. So I think you wanted to say something, right? Are you trying to? All right. So then I was like, wow. I mean, this is in a good position. I felt comfortable working. All right. Wanted to take an art class, and my first day in class, the instructor said to me, "Sapori, what I'm looking at as far as your portfolio is concerned, you don't need to be in this classroom. Go home and paint." And I decided, okay, then I will take, I'll have to buy books and practice. So here is a situation where I got the kind of freedom to do anything I wanted to do. Because if an instructor is telling me that I should be myself as far as my individuality is concerned, then I have the power to explore. Right. So then I tried to get my work into galleries, and I tried one in New York. I did the um, the art expo in New York, and then um, some guys saw my work in Washington D.C. and said, "Look, we can sell your work for you." Came to Washington D.C. There's this beautiful big um, in Bethesda, and the owner said to me, Sephori, the one thing I'm going to tell you is, as much as I want to show your work, you know, black people don't buy art. And that really got me to thinking. I felt like, Washington, D.C. is a black community, you know, so why should he be telling me this? And he's Caucasian, he's, Jewish. And so that's when I decided that then I'm going to have my own studio and a gallery. And that's when I found that House of Safari. Now, the beautiful part of it is to be able to create and invite people to come and see. And I made it so comfortable for them that, I invite them on wine, coffee, tea, or hors d'oeuvres and say, here is jazz music, enjoying have that significant relationship with us, and then you can buy if you want to. So at a point in time, I was doing events. I hire hotel ballrooms and different places, and I have my shows. And I mean, people will come over. I hire jazz band groups to play for me. And I've used almost everybody. Pieces of a Dream. I mean, all these groups and stuff.
Wow, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in one way, I created something for myself that people were doing. The art gallery, I felt I could have my own art gallery. And that's when I founded House of Safari and decided that, you know what, I'm not going to let anybody else um, sell my work for me because the work is mine. I created it and I have the power to sell it to anybody and how I wanted to sell it. And with my sales um, background, it helped me a lot.
Wow, great stuff. Um, we're also talking price, and you know what our bank accounts can get for us to make us comfortable as well. And we're going to be coming to the cost element of all of this. Now, for the purposes of our cameras, I'd like to focus on this. I was very much drawn to that one behind the buffet table. The polo is a very big, image. I'm not able to immediately give the measurement, but it's a polo player, sort of like lying on the horse and playing and striking, on the court. So I'll have you explain this one because everybody can see this one right here, right behind us. Cameras can also see all of our friends. Okay, so that image is going to be moved to the back here so everybody can see. But I hope let's just start with this one.
Um, there's one thing I'll tell all of you. I don't have a style, because again, I decided to explore. I've tried my hands on almost everything, the crayons, pastels, charcoal, graphite, acrylics, oils, everything. You know what I mean? And this is the case where I realized that as an artist, you need to create, you know.
Can you bring it this way rather? Behind us, here. Yeah, into the light. Yeah, right here. This way. Yep. There we go. There we go. So you do agree with me that this is a massive piece of art and very creative as well. All right. Okay, so please go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. So, I could be explaining this to you, but I just want you to know that I'm not just a painter. I design, I make furniture, I make, I mean, how do you call it, textiles. I work in all the mediums. So, here is a case. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I did a show in New York, the biggest art expo in the world, and there were 250, um, I'm sorry, 400 artists from 250 countries. And my work was chosen to begin the event.
Wow.
And one of the reasons why I said
Amazing.
that is because, I mean, I have different styles. And so it was such a beautiful thing. And so when it comes to the artworks and you begin to create, it's what is in your mind, right? And there are times you could be standing right in front of the canvas for hours. I've stood in front of a canvas for 12 hours before I could start working on it. And if you stay with the piece for maybe 2, 3, 4 months before you finish. So all depends on that. And you have to put in the effort and the time to be able to say, okay, this is how much I'm going to charge the work. I mean, I'm going to price the work and all that. As you all know, most artists, because of the exposure, that is where they get the prices being put out there, and basically people like Oprah Winfrey, Bill Cosby, David Driscoll, Logan Bennett. Maybe go to the presidential villa. My works are all over. I work for Tim Foy in his home in England and South Africa and then Chapalis as well.
Great.
To me, with all this is because I'm working very hard. But the most important thing to me is when I'm giving back. And that's why I'm here in Ghana. And that's what I want to do.
Wow.
That's why I insist.
Wow. Amazing stuff. Giving back is what brings me to you again, Peter. You are in an industry which requires a lot of capital. We've dealt with that bit already. But in terms of giving back, you've provided employment for hundreds of people. Um, there is the fixed and there is the, that which comes and goes. Okay. Now, tell me about the journey of putting up these structures in high-end residential addresses and office addresses, putting up all of these commercial properties and all of that. There's that saying about Accra and how Accra is a very expensive place compared to other places, even in Europe and in America and others.
Yes, you're right about that. I hope you don't mind if I throw some numbers. Yeah. Before we tackled the mall 4 years ago, we were engaged in a project at East Legon, and it was a property just below 2 plots. That is about, I would say about 100 by, it was just below 2 plots. And the price was going for $800,000 just for 2 plots. And we negotiated for a year, and it came down to $650,000. So if you buy a piece of land for $650,000, what are you going to do on it and pay back the bank and also make profit? So it's very it's difficult, and there's more thinking that goes into it than what people would actually, you know, imagine. So prices in Accra, especially prime areas, are very expensive. But me, my advice to people who want to enter real estate is look for developing areas, purchase the land. It's not as expensive as the prime areas and ones will be, and then you can start from there. I mean, I always advise people on that note.
Um, I want you to tell me about the element of demand, because you make your efforts regarding marketing all of these properties and all of these structures that you put up, and then it stirs demand in a certain way. But tell me about the demand patterns in this side of town.
Okay, so as Mr. Safori also just hinted on, you have to believe in what you're doing. It starts with a vision. The East Legon project, after we purchased the land, there was a big real estate gentleman, I don't want to mention his name, he was selling houses for $500,000. That is relatively cheap compared to what I was about to do, because the land alone cost me $650,000. So what was I going to do? So I had to target the 1% of Ghanaians, which is just a few people. And the 1% can always, buy their, what do you call it, build their own houses.
Sure.
So, I mean, with the help of my wife, we have to just think outside the box. We did we had a swimming pool which was made out of fiberglass.
I see.
We had the windows had no burglar proof. All the windows were bulletproof windows. We had to bring in the carpenter from Italy. There's a company called Casa Palladio to fix these windows on the house, so that just like art, you can sell it to the to the high-end clients. Because I couldn't do what my next door neighbor was doing, so I had to break the bank and go beyond, just
And
so that
and it sure did pay off.
it did pay off. But it's a huge risk, because these are monies you have to pay back to the bank. You get me. So I mean, it did pay off, but it's believing in what you're doing and going over the top. To build a house with a pool with fiberglass, have not a single burglar proof in the building. All the windows were bulletproof windows, so it's just clear. It's a bit tacky. You see houses with burglar proof. Foreigners don't like that. So we had to contact a company called Casa Palladio. They came in, brought the carpenter from Italy, and fixed all bulletproof windows, so that we can meet, and lo and behold, it was sold for a good price.
Peter, so clearly from what the three of you have given us so far, there's light here in this side of town. There's light here. There is color here, and there is comfort here. Unfortunately, we are not getting that message sent out as well as it should be by the media. You want to take that?
There is definitely color here. There's life here. Like I said, I've lived most of my life in the UK, but I can confidently say that moving to Ghana was the best decision ever. Running a business here, best decision ever. In the UK, I worked in a law firm, and I did all sorts of work. I was an account manager for Yves Saint Laurent. I worked for MAC. I mean, I've done all sorts of work. But this is what I want to tell people who are looking to return to invest or to start a new life. Once again, it's here, up here. I have so many friends who've moved to Ghana and it's like a tennis ball. They're like tennis match, back and forth. Next minute, they give up and then they come back and then they give up and they come back. But it's really making a decision. And when I moved back, my decision was there's no turning back. You see, when you think, oh, let me try and see how it goes. If it doesn't work, well, I can always go back. For me, that wasn't an option. I remember telling my dad, I said, Dad, you know what? I've sentenced myself to life in prison. Life in prison means life in prison. However, way you make it work, you can decide to be happy in prison. You can be miserable in prison. The fact is, you're going to be in prison. So why don't you just make it count? Do something right. Make it positive. So I just want to encourage everybody. This year, my business has grown by 140%. COVID was last year. I think what helped my business was the health factor. I remember when Nana always came, my fellow Ghanaians, I was always excited because I was like, yes, he's going to talk about boosting your immune system. So, and he did, didn't he? So really, I want to encourage everybody here. I remember when I was in the UK, I could only like make a trip maybe once every 4 years to Ghana. And now I can travel as many times as I want. The opportunity, they are here. Do you know how easy it is to meet the president? I remember the first time I actually met the president. He wasn't the president at the time. The point is, ask yourself, those from the UK, how easy it is to meet the prime minister in the UK? Almost impossible, right? So there are opportunities here. You just have to change your mind. You have to work on your mind. There's so much power in the mind. Your mind, you become what you believe. So the moment you make the decision, listen, if I tell you the challenges I have faced, I have been insulted. I have been called all sorts of names, because of how the environment I came from. Because there's a lot of things, you know, she didn't because I was in boarding school and that's where I did my A levels, O levels, and I was the only black girl in the school. Can you imagine? In one page is a village. I was in the village. So so the point I'm making is I really, really want to encourage everybody. My purpose today, what I wanted to do is just two things: motivate and inspire people to come back home. That's my battle cry. That's what I want to drive because we need to be home and make this work. It is possible. Anything is possible. I did it. I'm not better than you. I'm not better than anybody. I'm just doing something you're not doing. He's doing something you're not doing if you're not in that position. So please, anybody with a vision, you've got to have a vision. You've got to have a vision. And then you've got to make a plan. And then you just go for it and not get distracted. You've got to have a why factor. I call it the why factor. What wakes you up every day to go after what you love? And if you don't have that why factor, guess what? When the going gets tough, you just give up, like many of my friends who are now back in London. I was in London 2 months ago. I saw her at the bus stop and I was thinking, listen, love, come on, come to Ghana. She came to start a shit up business, and this is what do you call it, vegan shit up. And I was like, look, let's just keep going. But then you get a few hitches here and there. So, oh, I gotta give up. You know. So that's my message to you guys. And really, it's not always about money. It's not. We want to make money. That's why we get up and hustle. But if money is always the reason, you will fail miserably. That why factor I talked about, for me, it was my children. My children are my why factor. I had the best life. My parents gave me the best life. I came to Ghana actually under very unfortunate circumstances. I was going through a really horrible divorce, and that's what brought me back home. I needed to get away from it. And so for me, I remember when I was leaving, this one day I'll say it, my ex-husband told me, you would never make it without me.
Wow.
He told me, he said, you would never make it without me. And so one of my biggest wife factor ladies was to let this guy see me one day and go, ee. You know what I mean? So that was one of my why factors. And guys, is that a big enough why? Of course it is, because I didn't want to fail. And of course, my dad, bless him, you know, your daughter has gone to marry, come back. When I was going, they said, don't go. And I went, he's not even Ghanaian, and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to make my dad proud. Is that a big enough reason? Absolutely. So you go away today, if you haven't taken anything today, just one thing, you got to find that why factor. What's going to make you keep going with the vision that you have, that you're not going to give up? Guys, you know what I mean? Yeah. Umbra Ghana, come back home. Let's make it happen because it is possible. I did it. I'm not from a business background at all. So for me to be here today, I've had the best year in 5 years in my business. In the midst of COVID, I made a decision to make it.
Wow. I hear some applause. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of inspiration here, here tonight. And we're going to be wrapping it up very shortly from the media end of things and the will and the want to put those in authority on their toes so they keep our society right. But right now, we've heard from people who are in the space where they design. They design our environment and make the environment as pleasant as possible so we could have the peace of mind to go about our work. And there's one other person here who's also ensuring that we keep the bodies that we move around in good shape. There's one other person here who's also making sure that on a daily basis, she's putting you in check, educating you, and making sure that you prevent any possible health problems. So, in all of this, I'm sure that there are loads of questions that we would want to ask, and this is where we'll pause it so that you can bring in your suggestions as usual before we get final thoughts from our panelists, look ahead into the next 5 years, and then we can get into final phase of conversations here at Migration to Ghana. So, as we always do, that's the drill. We just raise a hand, indicate, and we'll bring a microphone to you. Here we go. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening. I'm Nana Kwame. My question goes to Safari. Um, right now, we are actually, the world is evolving into like a metaverse, right? And there's been the introduction of non-fungible tokens, that's NFTs, right? So that has to do with more of the art industry. I want to know what your strategy is with regards to that, and what direction you are taking I mean, taking leverage of that opportunity.
Um, Thank you very much, Nakami, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's rather unfortunate that probably about 4, 5, 6 months ago, I didn't really know much about the Bitcoin coin. And then a friend of mine who also is with us. His name is Hansen. From London. He's living here right now, and he came to me. I was having an event at the Marriott Hotel, and then we connected. Actually, I didn't even know that he was coming to the show. He gave me the opportunity to address the crowd. And then he mentioned that to me, so I brought him over to my studio, and then he started educating me on NFTs, and we've done quite a lot of stuff now. We have our own gallery as far as that is concerned, and he's taking good care of it. And I think one friend of mine who's an American Jamaican in the United States, his name is Winston. Winston Thomas also is into it. So he connected with me from the US saying that, you know what, he wanted to work with me. But then already I started working with Hanson. So um, we working together. And I'm learning so much about NFTs right now. I think it's a big opportunity for a lot of artists, especially those up and coming ones that are not known. Because, usually it was the conventional side of it. You you create your artwork, you have to find a gallerist. And a lot of artists don't sell their own works they find gallery owners, dealers to go out there and sell their work for them, and then they take 40, 50, sometimes 60% from them, which I think it was very unfair. That's why I started my own gallery, thinking that if I'm going to do it, then I'm going to put myself into it the 100%. So I have started it, and I'm glad I've started with the people who are into the business already, and I'm going to continue. And actually, I brought a couple of guys on. I'm also educating most of the artists around the side of the world to also understand, because it makes it easier. Um, you may know my art gallery is just my own work. What I do is everybody comes in there, they want to have a consignment contract with me where they can show their work. But just from day one, it has always been my work. But what I do for other artists, especially the young ones, I try to get them into, like, do event for them, have showcase their work in my place as far as art exhibitions are concerned. And then when we finish, maybe like a weekend or a week, then we can let them go. And then whoever is interested in their work can contact me. I don't take money from anybody because again, I'm here to help.
Okay, thank you. I have
You're
a
welcome.
follow-up question though. Not to the CEO for Yarifa. It's very direct. Why are properties in Ghana so expensive to rent and then to buy? Because there are some of the properties I've seen, right? And I mean, it's a normal average property, but it goes above $1 million. But that same amount of money can get you like very huge property in this, let's say New York or any other place. So yeah, why are properties here so expensive?
Funny enough, on my table, we're having the same discussion. Um, Honestly, I wish I knew the answer to that. I don't, because there are so many facets that goes into building a house. I mean, you have to purchase the land from someone else. You have to buy your, cement blocks, get different professionals involved. So after doing your maths, sometimes this is what you end up with. But it starts with the price of the land. That is what determines. That's why some prime areas, or most prime areas, the properties over there are quite expensive. I don't know how come the prices are all hiked up. I don't have that here.
Hello, good evening. My name is Kojo to NG, and what I would like to say is kind of a suggestion or a contribution for the diaspora. When you come to Ghana, you see all these opportunities, you see all these beautiful things here, and most of us don't know the value we have in this country. So you have to impress on a lot of people here, because a lot of people are trying to go outside the country under very horrible conditions because of what we see on telly or what the ideas that we have about the world. So we have to impress on Ghanaians about some of the things that we can do in this country. And also, we need mentorship for people to be able to go into certain aspects. Safori made a point that when he found out he can draw or he's an artist, he had people to motivate him to say that be an artist. In Ghana, you have to be a doctor or something else. This doesn't make money and all of that. We need you to tell us what you've learned, what you've gone through, the truth about the environment that you come from. Because we can't transform Ghana by just a few people who are doing well. There has to be an idea that people live up to. So I'd like to, I mean, tell the diaspora that there is a lot of work to be done if Ghana will become the Ghana they want it to be. There are systems and processes out there that made UK, US that everybody is enjoying. And then we don't have that here because a lot of people are kind of stealing what the majority can enjoy. So I like to admonish that when you come to Ghana, try and get a certain idea into the heads of people that where you want to go and what you want to go and enjoy can actually happen in Ghana. Thank you.
evening to you all. I'll touch on what Kojo said, and then I'll give my question to Kwame, and then I'll ask Ikria a question. Okay. So you say you really don't know why the housing market is so expensive in Ghana. Coming from the States, they teach us in a sales class, uh, coming from an economical view, there are more people who are making money outside of Ghana than Ghanaians making money. And those people who are making money are looking for places for vacation homes. So you're talking about people who are buying their second, third, and even fourth homes. So a lot of the realtors here are going towards that market because it's readily available. But a lot of people are not attacking, they're still sleeping on the masses of people. So you have that direct source, do not get me wrong, of the people who have an influx of money outside. They're everywhere: Australia, US, Canada, South America, Asia, Korea, Japan. But within Ghana, they don't have that type of money because there are no raises on their pay. So the masses of the people within this country, uh, you could say safely 75% are underpaid, overworked. So they can't make the type of money to even get anything outside of I believe they call it a chamber and hall. That's the majority of the population in Ghana. So that's one of the major contributing factors. Many of the real estate agents are targeting the affluential buyers from abroad, whether the masses is still billions of Ghanaian cedis worth of those people in Ghana. So I just want to touch bases on that to help you out. And Akri, I will salute you because I'm myself from the States. I've never been to Africa before. I had a friend from Nigeria who just called me one day and said, go to Ghana. And I was like, huh? She said, buy a one-way ticket and go to Ghana. And I bought the ticket, and 2 months later, I was here. And I've been here for a year, and it literally takes, like you said, that mindset. My grandfather was military, so as soon as I arrived, I was in survival mode. I knew not to blow my money. I knew not to go to Osu, Accra, Lumbar. I knew not to go to those places. I went and ducked off and just kept to myself. And it's been a year and a month now, and I just got my first opportunity exporting shea butter. But it took a year for that versus where other people would have gave up. So with that being said, another economical question for you is that do you believe that if the people could afford your products, would they do it?
So first of all, um, my product, although it's a health product, unfortunately, uh, not everybody can afford it. It's for everyone. Not everybody can afford it. This is where you get into business mode and not an emotional mode. Um, so maybe 10% of Ghana's population are my target market. It's only 10%. But like I said, it's not an emotional thing. It's purely a business decision. And this is all part of making it and being successful. You've got to be able to eliminate the emotions from the business. If you want to have the best care, you go to the best hospital. The best hospital, unfortunately, costs a lot of money. So you've got to stay focused on your target market. Who are the people you're looking for? Because, sweetheart, they have money. There is money here. There is so much money in Ghana. Um, the line of work that I do has exposed me to all these people. And so, um, if I would advise when it comes to that economical uh, view, you've got to stay focused on the group, the market you're looking at. When you look at Despite, I mean, he cuts across and it's great for him. Um, but if you look at this gentleman here, he's building properties that is focusing on a certain market. When you look at Bentley, they don't sell thousands of Bentley. exactly is sold for a certain market, and that market product has the value. So let us be able to distinguish between emotions and business. They're two totally different things. If I had my way, I wish everybody could have my product. But as a matter of fact, what I did do was I put together a program where people who cannot afford my product, it means they need money, right? It means they ain't got the money. So if you don't have the money, I will train you through a system and a structure, duplicate myself in you to get you to work and earn the product. Yeah. So come to the gentleman and what he was talking about. Sometimes it's the mindset of the people. And they lock. It's a lock system. And it's so difficult to try and change somebody's mind who is not open minded. When I see my customers, if you meet some of these customers, if they're not, I love art, by the way, I love your artwork. If you go and sell this art to somebody who's not open minded to this, there's nothing you can do that's going to change that. So that's the customer you don't focus on. You focus on that 1%, and that 1% will pay full. So what I have done in my organization is I would see different kinds of customers, and the customers say, oh, I don't have the money, but I need the product. I'm like, listen, I'm willing to help you out. But you scratch my back and I scratch your back. And that customer who really wants it will definitely jump on board. So it's definitely something I'm also doing, trying to give back, trying to duplicate myself and people to also become like me and even better than myself.
A little bit to it, to both of your answers. I sell luxury items, all right? And also, what I do is I do a lot of charity events, orphanages. I've done cancer, leukemia, holding their hearts with the Israeli ambassadors. Done autism. And the truth of the matter is, I sell works. I sell pieces for $30,000. At the same time, if you come to my studio, I can get you a piece for $200. All right. And when I have auctions, and I put money aside for those who are, the need. You know. So I try as much as possible to make sure that yes, those who need to buy the $10,000, $15,000 work, they are there. And I'll sell those ones to them. At the same time, if somebody comes in and they're looking for a $200, piece, I'll make sure that I get it to them. All right. So when it's luxury, you know, it's a bit different. And working in the industry for 24 years also is a position where I'm building a reputation and a brand. I'm never going to come down, but I make sure that I help. All right, that's one thing. Now, please, could you give me your name again? I want to address you. Kojanji, yeah. So, Kojo, there is one thing I'll add to what you said about coming from, you know, wherever it is that you want to come back and live here in Ghana. The same way I decided that after 21 years in the United States, I only wanted to go for 5 years, maybe 2, 3 more years to work, gain experience, and come back. And I happened to be there, and it wasn't easy for me. But when I got the gift, I realized that this is what I have, and I could use it for anything at all, right? So at a point in time, I realized that I'd had enough of the United States. I needed to come back home. My mind to come back home is not to come here and make money, but to give back. Because if you have all these young artists who are in the streets, most of the street vendors that you see when you're around the airport, Bungalow area, Adenta, all the people in the street, if you give me 20 of them, trust me, I can turn about 10 of them into, artists. And art is not just about painting, being a realist. You could do a whole lot. If you put together all this trash that you have on the floor here and put it in a certain way and present it properly and sign it, is art. You know what I'm saying? And I thought I could do that. And that is one of the main reasons I came back to from the United States here. Now, you have to understand one thing. If people go out there to study, to work, to gain something, think about it. Your mind is always also at home. You're thinking about where you started or the people around who helped you to get there. So if you don't have that 100%, mindset that, um, you want to do something, trust me, you might as well just say, I want to be in the United States as far as mine is concerned, be in the United States, and I'm not going to come back home. But if you start thinking about where you are and home, then you have to make that decision because you can't give 50-50. It always has to be 100%. One of the things that I've also realized, um, when I got here the first time, there were a lot. I had been visiting. I left in 1990, 95. My mom passed, and I had to come and bury her from 2000, 2001, all the way to 2011 when I decided to come back and settle. Now, we have a lot of, there were so many things that frustrated me from the beginning. Even dust, fumes, um, vendors, beggars in the street. All those things frustrated me at a point in time. And I realized that, you know what? I didn't come to Ghana to fix Ghana. I came to Ghana to, to do well and then help. So let me just forget about all those little things that will frustrate me and concentrate on the things that I wanted to do. If you don't have that mindset and you come in, you probably will not be able to stay. If you think you got to go and come back and try again, it's not going to work. All you have to do is to make up your mind, no matter what. This is the decision. You didn't go to Nigeria, you didn't go to Japan, you didn't go nowhere. You decided to come to Ghana. And that means you can live in Ghana.
No.
So that's one of the things I will also give to you. There are
Thank you.
people here that when you talk to them, they'll tell you that, hey, no. You try to help them, but they will tell you they don't need your help. It's okay. Concentrate on the next thing so that you can make it. And one day maybe they'll be able to understand you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this is what we're going to do here. We'll take a final suggestion, after which would have our panelists take a little rest. We're going to bring all of them back, at the end to give us their final 1 minute words of admonition. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our final suggestion, question. We'll have it answered later on, but please do go ahead with it.
Majo, everyone. My name is Stacy. I'm from the Bronx. Hey, PK. I wanted to say that what I heard from everyone up here tonight was exceptionally inspirational, especially because my family and I are married to a Ghanaian American, and we uprooted during COVID. I'd never come to the continent a day in my life. And then I just brought my catering business and hit the ground running. And there are ups and downs, but as you said, Aquia, and I can't say it, it gave me goose pimples. Either you're going to have the mindset to stay here and get it done, or as Safari said, you go back, you may never have anything. Because the back and forth, you need to have a solid thought process and keep it moving. But I do want to address the gentleman in the back. Yes, you, honey. You said something that I understand exactly what you said, but I want you to see it from the lens of an actual diaspora. When we come here and we do, a lot of us, well, I'll speak for myself and the ones that I do know, like my young brother right here. We do converse with the locals a lot, and the locals have a different mindset. And as Aquia said, you can't change that for them. And there's a lot of red tape, I hate to say that we as diaspora have to jump through hoops to get things done. And if it's like that for us, imagine how taxing it is for the local who doesn't have access to the things that we have as diaspora coming here. So I would just urge you to just kind of like have more of a dialogue and get a broader perspective when you're talking to diaspora. There's so many different stories that you'll come to understand of why certain things may not work here. I came here and I legit cry and say, Ghana's gorgeous. And I come from New York. New York is the bomb, but it can be the bomb in a bad way too. But I will say this: the people here have to see how gorgeous it is. If you see foreigners rushing in to buy buy up everything. That should tell you something. There is something beautiful here, and everybody from other continents and countries want a piece of it. You have to want to protect it. You have to want to love it because we love it. Outsiders love it. You love it more than we do. You've been here, you've been born and bred. Make the decision to make this your oasis, not for everybody else, but for you first. And we can't teach you that. You need to love it for yourself. And that's all I had to say.
Thank you very much. Bronx in the building. Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate the thoughts. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we do a big round of applause for our panelists? Our panelists will be joining us again for the final phase, which will be the 1 minute words of admonition. But we'd like to say thank you to you, Judith. Thank you to you, Peter. And thank you to you, Safori. We're going to have you back here very shortly. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ourselves ready for the final panelist and presentation, I'll hand you over to the Jazz Kings to serenade us for a minute or two. Enjoy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you too.
Anywhere you day, I go there. My sherry cocoa, my one and only. If it because you want, I go hustle. Baby, take my hand, baby, carry go. If you think I'm gonna leave you, God forbid, yeah. If you leave me, die be this year. You show me things I can't resist, yeah. I'm gonna mention your name to the whole world. If you, it'll give me joy, Angela. Angela, Angela, Angela. You go better make us suffer so you don't cry. If you be having food every day, I go sky. If it's true, we are the talk me, I know they lie, you. Yeah. If you leave me today, girl, I don't die. If you think I'm gonna leave you, God forbid, yeah. If you leave me, die be this year. You show me things I can't resist, yeah. I gotta mention your name to the whole wide world. If you, it'll give me joy, Angela. Whoa, Angela. Give me the best quality of my feet, Angela. Whoa, Angela. Anywhere you there, I go there. My sherry cocoa, my one and only. If because you want, I go hustle. Baby, take my hand, baby, carry go. If you think I'm gonna leave you, God forbid, yeah. If you leave me, die be this year. You to show me things I can't resist, yeah. I better mention your name to the whole world. If you, it'll give me joy, Angela. Whoa, Angela. Give me the best quality of my feet, Angela. Whoa, Angela. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Ghana girl say she won't marry me, oh. I hope say Sadi cook the watch it. Hope your love go sweet past the sheet, oh. Baby girl, I see your body killer. I just wanna dance for the body, only for your body. But the girl for the corner, tell somebody make a love you. The way she dey whine, when I see fire, fire body, fire, fire body. If you dey follow me, go now, enjoyment go kill her. Baby girl, you bad, oh. Girl, the way you whine, I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Say you're my woman, baby, my superwoman. I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Wine for the love, look you die for the love. Look you wine for the love, look you die for the love. Wine for the love, look you die for your love. Look you wine for the love. If I sing for you, you gonna love me, oh baby. Love you don't stop. I won't love you don't stop. Play me music don't stop, baby. All over the world, go marry you. Play me music don't stop. I won't love you don't stop. Shake your body, bum bum, baby. But the girl for the corner, tell somebody make you love her. Oh, baby. The way she dey whine and I see fire for your body, fire for your body. If you dey follow me, go now, enjoyment go kill her. Baby girl, you bad, girl, you way you whine. I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Say you're my woman, baby, my superwoman. I demand over you, girl. I demand over you, girl. Wine for the love, make you die for the love. Make you wine for the love, make you die for the love. Wine for your love, make you die for your love. Ghana girl say she want marry me, oh. I hope says I be cook the watching. Hope your love be sweet past the sheet, oh. Baby girl, I see your body kilo. I just wanna dance for the body, only for your body. Wine and say, baby, we could wine and say, wine and say, girl, you make me wine and say, wine and say, baby, make me wine and say, wine and say, wine and say. Okay, alright, 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 alright.
miscalculation can lead to fatal consequences. There are lives involved. It is classified and sensitive. It can be deadly but important. It is often in the interest of the state. It is never a solo mission.
Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our final presentation for the evening coming from a Ghanaian investigative journalist whose motto is name, shame, and jail. This he's done over the years through his organization known as Tiger IPI. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one person whose official or real identity is hardly known because of the kind of work he does as an undercover investigative journalist. Over the years, he has contributed to various thought leadership platforms in different venues and different locations around the world. And this is as a result of the results of his work over the years. He has also been recognized on several platforms as well for some groundbreaking investigations that he's made. We can make immediate reference to those on the judiciary in Ghana, those on the illegal sex trade in Ghana, and those in the area of illegal mining. Ladies and gentlemen, back in 2016, he won the Best Journalist Award by the Press Foundation here in Ghana. And this is one of many uncountable accolades that he's won over the years. With a big round of applause, please help me welcome the multiple award-winning investigative journalist, Anas Arimeyao Anas.
This is not a story of my life. It is a story of my society, driven by the need for social change. And that's the big name about it. As an undercover journalist, my job is about results. It is about fostering development, but the stakes are always high. The night of the 12th of last month, the rebels did attack Paris, sent down some houses, looted others, and captured the chief of the village and several of his people on suspicion that they were trafficking in arms. The crown prince of Bole informed the preceding guy reporter Anas Arabia and the king traveled to Cote d'Ivoire with the journalist replied that the prince was an imaginary professor in Ghana journalism is very risky. It comes with all the traps and the threats. Every second counts. As I decide to take the risk, any miscalculation can lead to fatal consequences. There are lives involved. It is classified and sensitive. It can be deadly but important. It is often in the interest of the state. It is never a solo mission. I don't do this work alone. I do it with a team. I collaborate with civil society, foreign counterparts, native undercover Ghanaian journalists, state institutions, and other security agencies. Together, we name, shame, and jail the bad guys in the society. I don't try to be all things to all people. I only try to do everything for the good of my society. My name is Anas Anas. My methods may not be comfortable to the bad guys, but extreme diseases call for extreme remedies. If you are a bad guy and about to knock on your door, I can tell you it is not nice. Courageous journalists like Anas, who risked his life to report the truth. Take a spark, just a spark. And I think Anas has provided a spark for the whole edifice to blow up, for people to wake up and say, no more. Something has to be done.
Thank you. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And Anas, thank you so much for making the time to be here with us this evening.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here speaking to some people who I know are my very good friends and some I know from the diaspora. When I was told to come and speak at this event, I thought that, what should I even address you on? Because I'm a frontal person. I say it as it is. And I'm also in a mood not to discourage people from coming to contribute their quota to the development of this country. So I'm conflicted. But naturally, I have to stick to who I am, tell you as it is. There are opportunities in this country, that's correct. But there are also some problems. Certainly, such is a human society. My name is Anas Arimia Anas. I'm an undercover journalist. I've worked with the BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, and I still work with them. I've also done lots of investigations in this country and across board. I've played many roles undercover, a patient in a psychiatric hospital, a prison inmate, played many roles undercover. I thought that coming here today, I should use some of my films to illustrate to you the real problems that we face as a people in this country and across Africa. I do three main things. I name, shame, and jail. And not many people are happy with me. It's normal. I'm so used to it. I attack and I get attacked. It's all normal. Why do I name, shame, and jail? I do so because of a simple philosophy that it is not safe to do a story and live with a criminal that you've done a story about in the same community. I keep saying that extreme remedies are the most appropriate for extreme diseases. And oh yes, I forgot to even add, I'm a lawyer. So when I go undercover, I pick the hardcore evidence, the evidence that is needed to ensure that the bad guy is prosecuted. So countless times, if you remember the Chinese sex mafia investigation, they were jailed 45 years. The cocoa smuggling story, where security agents who we had entrusted power to take care of our cocoa, they were jailed 16 years. Nana Kwesi Agyeman, a man who raped girls as young as 3, is in jail for 15 years. MV Benjamin Recaldo case is in jail for 8 years. So my journalism is a bit unconventional. It's unconventional because we live in a third world country. And I don't expect the institutions of state to be like that of Great Britain, that of Canada and the US. Call me a controversial journalist if you like. But I see nothing wrong with taking that one step forward after having gathered the evidence and standing in that court of law presenting the evidence and testifying regards to this evidence. In my entire profession, I've never lost a single lawsuit. Just the judges scandal, I got hit by over 66 lawsuits. None survived. Why is that? Because the name of the game is evidence. That's what it is, nothing more. So, ladies and gentlemen, some of you won't be happy with me, but I have to tell you as it is. Can we have the technical people roll the video? Can you start from the beginning, please? Okay, so here I was undercover in the psychiatric hospital of Ghana, right here, right here. And this is what happens there. And the situation as we speak has not changed. These were my inmates, my colleagues. And whilst there were dead bodies, people who had died, and they were not being properly taken care of. Enemies of the nation. So President Mills sent them. Yes. They were supposed to take care of our cocoa, take care of our ports. So that when you import your vehicles into this country, they don't take bribes from you. Unfortunately, this is what they were up to. Spirit child, children born of deformities here in northern Ghana, brilliant kids, and yet are killed. These are traditions we have right here in Ghana. So I went undercover. Can I have some volume? The soothsayer shrine. So I built a prosthetic baby and went to this hills. Place it on a makeshift bed in the secret camera room, while the area crime officer and his two remaining colleagues sit in the monitoring room. From here, they will keep patient vigil and be ready to move in. We make our way into the bedroom where they demand I hand over the child. They still don't know it's a replica. So you see, I collaborate with the security forces. We got them arrested and prosecution started. Spell of the albino, northern Tanzania. Albinos for ritual purposes. Since 2008, Tanzania counted 62 albinos who were killed, 16 who had limbs amputated, and the bodies of 12 albinos were exhumed. It's horrible. It's horrible. I've never imagined. I'm sorry, but I have to be realistic with you. This is happening right on our continent. It's the start of our undercover investigation, and it's time to get involved myself. Gives me the contact of a witch doctor who is suspected of being involved in the albino trade. I pose as a customer who wants to become rich. He continues for half an hour talking about curses, black magic, and the need of special medicine to boost my luck and success. That's it. It's time to scare him with my arm. Tell him I brought him a present. Take it. Sorry for what? So yes, he was arrested and prosecuted in Tanzania.
the very ones whose job it is to make sure hungry children get enough to eat. A man in one of the major towns in the north, Navrongo, was selling boxes of donated food. Inside his house, it comes from the World Food Program, and it's for Ghana. It was time to and this is what our people are doing with it. When I do this, then you criticize me that I'm not a good journalist. Out of those arrested, only the nutrition officer was ultimately charged. The others were helpers and didn't know the goods had been stolen. I was in Nigeria.
Nigeria's state physicians are taking a heavy toll on unsuspecting patients. 2 African journalists go deep undercover.
Don't worry, we'll finish very soon. But I have to tell you what it is.
It's time to go undercover. One fake doctor taking off an hour to sing here in the car is getting away with an outrageous scam. But Anna's plans to give him a dose of his own medicine.
I'm going to that place and teach him.
Anna sketches out his plan. The police take up station outside the clinic. Inside, Iguodala carries out his bogus examination, heads to the back room, presumably to pick up his dirty syringe. Terrified, Anna lifts up the bed and follows him. The police force him to wear his stethoscope to publicly shame him as a fake doctor.
I say you are a doctor, put it in your neck. Put it in your neck. Pause, please. So, judges are supposed to be the gods in the guides of men. When we all have our litigations, we go to judges. So, they are very important in our democratic dispensation. Any country that has a deficient judicial system is doomed to a nasty end. If you refer and look back to Rwanda, look back to Liberia, you realize that the core problem that led to the turmoil in those countries was as a result of a problem with the judicial system. However, people in the judiciary are very powerful. 120 judicial staff, 34 judges. We went undercover. A lot of people are not happy. Some are. At least I have 3-4 people who are. But how were you expecting me to be a lawyer? Stay within the judiciary, see the rot and not move. There are lots of families who think that I have been unfair to some of their relatives who have been fired from the judiciary. I say sorry, but the focus is simple. We have to get things done the right way in this country. Please proceed.
In the history of Africa and the extraordinary man who carried it off.
Doesn't matter who you are, wherever you are hiding, I come with my cameras.
Al Jazeera has been recording what happened.
At the end of the investigations, we got 34 judges.
Ajet Nassam is one of Ghana's most senior judges, sitting in the High Court and dealing with the most important cases. In Tamale, northern Ghana, Anas's investigators went to see if they could influence the outcome of a rape case. It was an appeal hearing.
This is Ansujehor. Ansujehor is a well-respected High Court judge.
The judge is anxious nobody should know that he accepted the cash.
I beg you, let this thing prevail. Okay, my lord. Okay.
John Enda Bugri is one of a number of lawyers acting for the judges named and shamed in the film. Thousands of people have been given free tickets to see the undercover epic, which features 34 judges filmed allegedly accepting bribes. A police convoy escorts Anas's car because he's received several death threats.
This is Justice Derry.
He's one of the judges who have really tormented me in this investigation. He's filed many suits. This is Mayo. He actually said that normally it's 10,000 plus when you're dealing with the likes of Justice Derry because he's a big judge.
Newly qualified graduates are called to the bar in Ghana. This is a joyful occasion, but Anas's expose has also cast a major cloud over the proceedings. The saga has not impressed the Chief Justice.
Sometimes it can spark, just a spark. And I think Anas has provided that spark for the whole edifice to blow up, for people to wake up and say, no more. Something has to be done.
Football.
For 2 years, he's been unlocking the secrets of African football.
This investigation seeks to look at football. When this story comes, there's going to be a lot of trouble.
There was a lot of trouble.
We decided to go back and give them 500 cities
There
top-up
was.
money. And we told them it was
But I enjoyed it.
a gift from the supporters of Hearts of Oak.
Suka appears distracted by his phone, but eventually takes the money.
And again, it's a penalty. Ahmed Adams, Samuel Suka, whistles the penalty. No,
I bought this penalty. I remember, was it 500 cities or something? Yeah, I bought that penalty.
On show, top players and top referees, all members of FIFA's senior ranks. Charles Dorner, the man they'd last met
And I
at a
love
petrol
the
station.
times that I used to buy yellow cards and red cards.
He doubled as a link between us and the referees. We told these referees that we just wanted
And
to
to
be
the
their
point
friends.
that it's African football
We can
and
ask
it's
them to
world
help us.
football, you ask yourself, why are we even here?
A role model to many youngsters, Marwa has been preparing to represent his country at the World Cup in Russia.
The Kenyans were not happy with me. They are only jewel
Referee
going to the World
Marwa
Cup.
is offered $600 and takes it. Marwa didn't even know whose room he had just walked into. He's at the top of his game, and he's just put his career in jeopardy. This is the president of the Ghana Football Association, the number 2 in African football, and one of the elite in FIFA, Kwesi Nyantechi. Anas's team gave Nyantechi first-class travel and a luxury hotel in the Middle East, with the promise of meeting a wealthy businessman with royal connections.
We were very clear to Kwesi Nyankechi that the money we were giving to him was a gift. On this occasion, he took an amount of $65,000 from us. The laws are very clear for both FIFA, the Confederation of African Football, and the Ghana Football Association. You cannot take a gift.
And the school money, we can charge 20%, 25%. Then amongst us, we agree that this person gets this. Everybody should sort it out. Then there will be peace.
Anas screened his film for free to thousands of people in an Accra arena. Emotions had run high in the build-up to that event. Who has betrayed the game of football in Ghana and beyond? Anas Arameyao Anas, or those who took his money?
We are still debating who has betrayed the game of football in Africa. Last but not the least,
my name is Anas Arameyao Anas.
I was in
I'm a
Malawi.
Ghanaian undercover reporter. I never show my face. By Malawi's human harvest. With me in the vehicle is local journalist Henry Muhangu. He's been covering a wave of unsolved killings where body parts are removed from dead victims for what's widely believed to be witchcraft rituals. The headless body that was found on the riverbank. It's a very sad sight. And now it's time to go undercover. Matthias Kamanga. He is a notorious local witch doctor who
sources told us is involved in body parts moving. This one too was not easy. It was a bit difficult. We are moving into dangerous territory. Suddenly, a very bad feeling comes over me. For the equivalent of around $8,000, they offer us 2 multi-meds and the blood sucking of a young child. Okay, then let's leave here. There was a small, good-humored crowd gathered at our vehicles. But as Kamanga and Impata melt into the darkness, the mood turned ugly. Really ugly. Becoming huge now. Started attacking them too. They use their bodies as human shields. Someone drive a knife, cut through my suit. But when we got into the valley, they were going to end our lives. Which Dr. Kamanga and his associate Njuku Mpat claimed that between them, they killed 12 people. We have no way of knowing if their claims are true. They gave us the names of 6 victims. Henry later investigated and discovered of the 6, 3 were alive. 1 was confirmed dead and 2 were missing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the reality of our continent, the reality of our country. I know some will be disappointed because I haven't touched on some stories like Charles Bissue at the office of the president who did his illegal mining scam and took bribe 3 times from me and is still walking free. I know some will be disappointed that FIFA has banned Kwesi Nyantakyi for all these years and still Ghana hasn't done anything. We are not new to this. So you see, we all need to persevere. As you've come back home, there will be things that would make you feel like it's not worth it being here. There will be a lot of difficulties. But just around that difficulty, there will always be a solution. It's ought to be clear to all of you that it's not going to be a tea party, but there are great opportunities in this country. And the fact that you know that you are contributing your quota to the development of your own people, that alone should be a big part. Like I said, for me as an undercover journalist, extreme remedies would always be appropriate for extreme diseases. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Anas Arimea. Anas. Anas, in the conduct of your work, you have spoken about dangers. In the financial sector, for instance, we all know about risk. There is risk everywhere. We're surrounded by a lot of risk. Now, give us a good graphic feel of your risk story and tell us, I mean, 1 or 2 of the very close shaves you've had with death in the pursuit of your everyday work.
Well, I must start by first letting you know that journalism is a hazardous profession. It's like being in a hot kitchen. If you don't have the energy, you get out. I started journalism knowing that it's not a tea party. I knew along the lines, some or most of us will fall. It is just normal. When you begin to jail people, you begin to take what they call their daily bread from them. There will be repercussions. Recent times in this football investigation, Ahmed Swali, my reporter and brother, he was shot twice in the heart and one in the neck and killed. That night, the two of us were targeted. We were in one place. And when you have your worker asking you permission that, okay, we've all been under protection for a while, now I have to see my mom. I really have to see my mom. So Ahmed went with all the necessary security that he had, and yet he was killed. That is the nature of our profession. As for death threats and people shooting at you and all, they are normal. They are daily occurrences. That's why if you are invited to such a place, it takes a great deal of planning to be here. I can't tell you the number of people who are seated with you and have been seated with you from day one since the event, just making sure that I can live here in perfect peace. So the dangers are there, they are normal. And I know you've got, there are lots of close shifts. I mean, you get it every single day, some of which we don't even report. You saw what happened in Malawi. We were just nearly got killed. And I remember even in the psychiatric hospital story, there were medications that I took which weren't that good because they affect your fertility. Of course, I went to do a story. I didn't go to lose anything. And then whilst in the hospital, I kept on taking the normal medications. And those who know the psychiatry, we are sedated almost every day, every time. So you get your sedation, and then because I didn't go into sleep, I took caffeine-oriented medication to keep me awake. And at the same week, within the hospital, I came into contact with a cocaine syndicate. And to be a member of the syndicate, you have to be part of taking in the cocaine. One body, you are being sedated, you are taking caffeine-oriented, you are taking cocaine. My body shut down. It was difficult. But the exciting part was when I got out, things weren't working. I'm like, yeah. So I called Professor Alexander. Look, I have come. It seems the thing is not working. And Doc is like, oh, it shouldn't be that extreme. Hold on, we'll get some medications for you. But just relax. After 1 week, report back to us. Let's see what's happening. After 1 week, no show. I called Doc, please, this is just a story. I have my whole life to live. And he said, okay, let me get you there. So they got me some tablets. They gave me another 1 week. Fifth day, nothing. Sixth day, nothing. And if Jackie is here, the seventh day, it was dramatic. So everything came up the seventh day. Everything got on. So sometimes you don't know what to call them. There are moments that it's okay, moments that, but the dangers are real. And I don't always limit dangers to physical harm. Sometimes a legal suit. If you are not well established, if you don't have a law firm, I have a law firm that is there defending. They are there to defend me 24/7. Think of my colleagues who don't have this kind of structure to help them. I have the whole BBC behind me, whole Al Jazeera behind me. So it makes it a bit difficult to take a definite swipe at me. But then I have my colleagues who are not that strong, and so the politicians will do what they can to ensure that they bring them down. Thank you. I hope I've dealt with you.
Definitely. Now, the most important part of all of this, and which is what I'll also send to all of our other panelists, whom I'm going to bring here very shortly, is looking forward and looking ahead into the future. You have set out to look at straightening what are supposed to be the ills of our society. Now, going into the next 5 years, what would you want to see done? Because clearly um, there is a need to move forward. There's a need to improve our society, and there's a need to improve our lot as a people. And there is also a need for us to make this society a welcoming one and a conducive one for all of those people who want to come here and be a part of this place permanently, and those who have been here, gone out there, and want to return. What would you say about that?
Well, I think what gives me courage and what makes me persevere is the kind of spirit I see in both local and Ghanaians in the diaspora. They are passionate. If they don't know, they passionately don't know. If they know too, they passionately know. So I have a strong hope because already some sectors we are beginning to see change. And I've also seen this cyclical fight between existing institutions and new ideas. I've seen a midwife who has come to the Ghana Medical Council with new and innovative ways of healthcare. And I've seen the system revoke her license because they say she's too known. These things are going to happen to people coming down. But let's not give up. To make that change, it would require some extra strength. I know people who have come and they are very successful at what they are doing. I also know people who have come and unfortunately they regret coming. But above all, there are many more people who are happy than people unhappy. What I have seen is that a lot of the times those who come are too trustful, and so they end up relinquishing everything that they sweated to bring for a fraudster or someone to take advantage of them. But I'm very, very confident that there are bigger opportunities in this country. If we focus and we persevere, we're going to have the right change that we need this country to go through. Ghana belongs to all of us. Nobody owns Ghana better than you and me. If a politician gets on the podium and they are talking and shouting, he is not a better shareholder than you are as far as the country Ghana is concerned. When we focus and we all take our time, we do what we do. Now just look at the atmosphere today, fix the country. Look at all those young organizations, youthful, vibrant young people. It doesn't mean they won't make mistakes, but it tells you that the psyche is changing. Today, people are calling for constitutional amendment. Why? Because young people have read it and they think that, hey, how can you have this common law practices in our constitution when today even the people who put it together have amended? That's how a country goes. So I am confident. And the fact that you have even invited me here is part of that change. And I'll take the opportunity to thank this organization for the opportunity given me to speak to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're grateful to you and us. And I'd like to have Doc here on my side as we all give final words of admonition to all of our friends. Here we go. Also, Judith Boate, please join us here. Safori, please join us here as well. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that afterwards. Yeah. Thank you very much. Also, okay, great. Mr. Peter Osei, please join us here. Thank, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're just going to do once again, like I always like to do, adhere to courtesy for boys and girls. So we'll begin with the ladies. Let's begin with you, Doctor. Uh, Doc Dinah, you started all of this. You started the conversation about the health sector. You gave us what the deficits were looking like, and you gave us what the reality on the ground is operationally, and what anybody looking for ultimate or the utmost health care would get. I mean, once they are in here and decide to live here. You've also given us what the picture is looking like going forward into the future. In wrapping all of this up, what would you say to the aspirants? What would you say to the people out there who have placed, a microscopic view on us and what we're doing as a way of prospecting to be part of this society?
Thank you. What I like to say is Ghana is home. I always feel at home when I'm here. The healthcare sector is such that it can make you very sad sometimes, but I'm telling you, when you close your eyes to the negative things and look at the positive parts of it, you realize that you're a part of the positive parts of it and you work so hard towards it. Now, if you do need an ambulance vehicle to come to your house or wherever you are, you will get an ambulance vehicle coming to you. If you need to be admitted to a hospital when something happens to you, you will get admitted. And there's access to medication, there's access to the best specialists you can ever get. Sometimes there's some cases that you need to work with doctors who are outside virtually, or you need to go outside and come back. All of that exists. So don't give up. Come home. Let's work together to make it a better place. Let's take health into our hands. I'll tell you the key to survival or to improve any kind of prognosis is knowing what you're suffering from, knowing how to manage it, knowing how to access care. And take home message is first aid. Everybody should know everything they need to do at home if something is to happen to them. So do come home so we can all work together to build a better Ghana. Thank you.
I guess you guys heard me say she's welcome, right? Because the main man is not here, and for courtesy and boys and girls, I had to respond. So the next question will go to you.
Okay, so my final thoughts. Just share a little illustration with everybody. If you want to go somewhere, let's assume you want to go to Accra Mall, and you're from here. Let's look at the GPS, right? So, in order for the GPS to take you to your destination, it needs to first of all find out where you are before it can calculate the right route for you to get to your destination. The point is that you need to know where you are in order to get to your destination. But here's the interesting thing. If you do get lost, what happens? The GPS would recalculate your location and send you another route. Whenever you are making a decision, no matter what that decision is, and you want advice, you need to first of all qualify the person giving you that advice. If you have a plumbing problem, you don't go to the doctor, you go to a plumber. If you are sick, you go to a doctor, you don't go to a fashion designer. So, what I want to say to you all is that for those of you who are thinking of coming back home, go to people who are qualified, like ourselves here. Speak to them. Find out how is it done, because it is possible. My purpose of coming here today was just to do two things, really, was to inspire and to motivate. I have a couple of people who came up to me to tell me how inspired they are. I wasn't born like this. It's a skill that I have taught myself, I have learned. All skills are learnable. So, guys, I'm going to leave you with this. Ghana is not just home, But Ghana is a place where opportunities lie. You just have to run with it, whatever that opportunity is. Thank you very much.
Mr. Say, it's your turn, please.
Thank you very much, Saforo. Um, I believe we've all said the same thing over and over again. But one thing I like to hammer on today that we all said today was having the right mindset. You need to have the right mindset to be able to move back. I have a lot of friends that actually complain a lot, especially especially people from overseas. I wish they would turn the complaints into opportunities. These complaints are actually opportunities. I have a friend who moved from the States. This is not a Ghanaian, this is somebody from Chicago. He came to Ghana on a one-way ticket 2 months ago, and he's opening a rooftop lounge at the Oyarifa Mall. I know another brother who's been in Ghana for 2 years, and he's opened up a clinic in East Legon. He is another 100%, he's actually a Navajo. No affiliation to Ghana or Africa, but they've come and they've made it. This tells us that there's a lot of opportunity. And I'm also hearing there's about 12,000 diasporans in Cape Coast who are all looking to migrate to Accra. So, guys, if you have any Ghanaian blood in you, others are doing it. Please follow suit. Thank you.
Nice one, nice one. I'm very surprised that Augustine's voice can speak like this, because we are cracker boys, Ghana is official language. Thank you very much. Sir, I want you to say something before I take a picture with you.
Once again, I think I'll reiterate the points that has already been made by this country is a country of opportunities. I've seen it happen over and over again. Go to T region and you will see young black Ghanaians, some as young as 18, and some are into fish farming, also mushroom farming and all that. And it's not as if their products are bought from the farm, and there's abundance of opportunities here. And I think that, of course, we will have our problems. Our systems ought to develop. Let's not forget, if you're dealing with the West, they have democracies that are over 400 years. Our democracy, 60, 61, 62 years, is pretty young. Of course, we have to learn and learn the right things to push the frontiers of our democracy to a much better level. So yes, we are going to have problems with partners. We are going to have problems with the police. But as we put ourselves together and we push the frontiers of this dear democracy forward, all of us will begin to enjoy Ghana very, very well. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you. What I would say, hmm, my plan of coming back to Ghana was not discussed with anybody. And you have to understand that whenever you have a dream, or if you sleep on the same bed with somebody, even on the same pillow with that person, when you wake up, you have two dreams. That person is going to have theirs, and you will have yours. All right. A lot of people are making the mistake of discussing their moves with other people. And trust me, if you discuss your moves with somebody, that person is still there. If you tell them you want to move to Ghana, they haven't made any moves yet. So they're not going to say anything to encourage you. They cannot tell you to pack up and go because they haven't. One of the things we all know, if you stay wherever you are for some time and you become very comfortable, you are stuck. When I was leaving, or let me put it this way, when I started painting, I told myself that that is all I had and I will never fall. And think about it. If you are put up here and there's no mattress, you find a way to get down without falling. If you want to fall, then it's up to you. You know that you're not going to survive. All I can tell you and encourage people, if we're able to do this at a point in time, we're building a community where I can come to you and do business with you. And someone else can come to me and do business with me. At a point in time, we can build that community just like the way it is wherever we were before coming back home. If you decide to go to the one who lives here, basically their plan and their way of living is totally different. So if they're saying we have about 150,000 people visiting Ghana right now, and even we have only 1% of those people coming in to stay, you have to understand that it will grow because next year we'll probably have another 150,000 people to come and live. Come and visit. And at a point in time, in the next 5 years or so, you should understand Ghana has turned out to be um, the gateway to Africa, right? Anybody who wants to come to Africa would like to visit Ghana. If it's not heard, you have someone saying that a friend of theirs who is a Nigerian was asking her to come to Ghana first. In the year 2000, one of my friends who is a collector, he has about 32 of my originals. He said to me, Safori, I want to visit Africa. Let's go. He bought my ticket and we came in 2000. When we got here, we got back to Washington, D.C., and he said to me, he said, Safori, I want to start doing business in Africa. He started off in Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria, and ended up in South Africa for 7 good years. All right, now he's gone back to the United States. And he's the one who said to me, said, look, Safori, there are a lot of prospects in Africa. So why won't you also make that move? And trust me, it was so encouraging. And I'm here for 10 good years now. And I've done things that nobody has done when it comes to the industry where I am right now. So I strongly believe that if you decide you want to accomplish something, there's nothing that should stop you. And again, I just want you all to know that Ghana is our home. And if you are in your home, then you should understand that it's better than being out there somewhere. So basically, that's my little advice that I can give any one of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Hope you can all hear me. Good evening. I'd just like to thank the panelists again, and on behalf of the team, Migration to Ghana, I'd like to officially present them with a small token because it's not easy. Coming here is quite far from where they live, and also time is money as well. So we greatly appreciate your time, the time spent preparing for this, and also just your presence here, the team you brought here as well. We are super grateful, and I'm sure that everyone both watching online and here has taken some nuggets from them and appreciated their physical presence as well. And also to Ash, who had to make it virtually. So just going to present a token of thanks to you all. So if we can give the first one out. So this is Kwame, my name is Jackie, and this is Alice, and we are the team along with a few other people that volunteer with us as well. So the first one is going to go to, pardon? Dr. Portimens. Thank you. I always call her Dr. Dinah. Okay, and the next one is for Judith, food pharmacist. I need the salad master that she's talking about. Okay, thank you. And then the next one is for Mr. Anas. Now I want to hear what he said now. Okay. Oh, you heard it? Oh, wow. So, Fori, our very own artist.
Thank you very much.
And then Mr. Oyara from Wall. Do visit there, it's not too far from here as well. And that's it. Would like to thank you. Now you can take your leave if you want as well. Thank you so much. Would definitely like to have a picture. Oh, the picture. Should we take a picture first? Okay, the official pictures as well. Do bear with us for a moment. And we still have a few more things before we go. We have GIPC who will come, and also we're going to announce the winner of the person who downloaded Send as well. The official pictures will be better, I promise you. Thank you so much. A final round of applause for them, please. So we're going to bring on GIPC. So while they come on, okay, and then we're also going to announce, while everyone's sitting there, so the rest of us that are here, we have a barbecue on the 28th of December at Ayi Mensa Clubhouse. That's not too far from here as well. So Ayi Mensa Park Clubhouse from 2 p.m. onwards. We also have Beyond the Return. They bought a few of their merchandise if anyone wants to patronize them or just to check it out. And then we're going to announce the are still downloading. So in the meantime, GIPC have an event called Taste of Ghana. They're organizing Taste of Ghana, and as thank you to all those who are here, they're giving out complimentary tickets as well. So someone's going to be giving out to us on the table. So do grab a pair. It's on the 27th, Monday the 27th, at the State House. Actually, so it's an opportunity. It's not every day you get to go to the State House. So do patronize that if you can. And we also have a Christmas. If you want to give back and spend some time with the less privileged, we are spending Christmas morning with an orphanage. Do contact us if you want to find out where the location is. Thank you so much. So GIPC, we are waiting for you. Oh, no, Mr. GIPC. Sorry, we will be wrapping up shortly. I just want GIPC. They were one of our sponsors. They've been very instrumental in our events, and they sponsored us last year as well. So I would want them to inform you a bit more about what they do once everybody finishes taking the picture of the celeb. Yeah, but then they won't. Yeah, they won't. Yeah, otherwise. So while we're here, I'm going to let Patrick. I'm going to let Patrick speak about GIPC shortly before we wrap up.
Hello. Hello. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So, my name is Patrick, and I work on the Diaspora Investment Desk of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, which is under the Office of the President. So, at the Diaspora Investment Desk, we are very happy to associate ourselves with this event because we take diaspora engagement very seriously. We've been set up for over a year now, and our core functions are that we work to bring to the attention of members of the diaspora investment opportunities that exist here in Ghana. And we also support them to get access to those opportunities, as well as to all the regulatory agencies who are involved in case you want to set up a business or register a business here in Ghana as a diasporan. So as Jackie told you, on Monday, 27th December, 2021 at the forecourt of the State House, which is opposite the International Conference Center. We are organizing Taste of Ghana. Now, Taste of Ghana is being put together to throw more light on the indigenous Ghanaian items that are of commercial value. So on the day, we are going to have a display of music, food, clothing, local arts, and other local artifacts as well. So all the tickets that have been distributed to you so far has been paid for by our sponsors, MTN, Hidden Heights Limited, IFCO, and all that. So ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to join us on this at the Taste of Ghana event on Monday, 27th December 2021 at the forecourt of the State House. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing everyone at the Taste of Ghana event. Lastly, as well, just a reminder about Tap Tap Send. They were also one of our sponsors, and we would love it if you made a transaction of any amount, be it a pound, a cedi, or whatever it is, using the code as well, M2G2021. We'll allow people to take more pictures, and then we'll close the event. Thank you. If there's a Ndeye Diop, Ndeye Diop, a Senegalese person, I doubt it. Let me get the musicians to play. They said. Can I get the musicians?